The one.
Oh, did we have to hook up a? Did we have to hook up the mic?
Yo, hey, Mike,
Do we have to hook up the mic?
we have to look it up.
Yeah, it's live, brother.
Depends on
Okay. Oh, okay. It just goes like this.
yeah, and it makes a big difference. How's the audio?
I don't know. Because it's a come up with bars, does it?
I'll check it quickly. What channel is it on?
GMS Yaiquab.
Okay.
London, is it London Live, y'all? London. Yeah. Yeah, man. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Sham Yahweh Shai, Barakah Kadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, that taught us this truth. Honor to you brothers out there that's throughout the world teaching this word, man. You know, all over, man. The scriptures speak about the sweet savor of the Lord, man, is being made manifest in all places. You know, to some it's a sweet savor unto life, to some it's a sweet savor unto death. But the sweet savor, the knowledge of the Heavenly Father is being made manifest. In that same chapter, it says, because we have not perverted the word of the Most High. So we got to come with it correct. So all you brothers out there that's coming with it correct, we salute you. You know, shalom to you brothers and sisters that's listening and learning, that supported the ministry, that's following the faith of Yahweh Shai. You know, we love that, man. Keep listening and learning. That's what we're here for, to feed the flock. We're going to go into a major prophecy, end times prophecy, which is the destruction of America, okay, which in the scriptures is mainly known as what, Babylon the Great, okay, America, that's what America is, which is a great kingdom, the last, the hindermost of the nations.
Yeah.
It's the last great kingdom of the nations, which really the Edomites, okay, and the destruction is coming. And you know, something that we used to see, sometimes we'd be out there, we ain't got the sign here, we'd have to sign like the destruction of America, and you get people have the nerve to ask why. Well, if you got to ask why America's got to be destroyed, then you sleep. Okay, there ain't no place that's been more fitted to destruction than America. When you look at the wickedness of that place, the murder, when you judge it according to the scriptures, there ain't no place that's ever existed that was more worthy of judgment than America. But anyway, hey, you got that.
The scripture.
If you got a preset that you want to start off on, we can start off on that. I see you got your hold in Revelation. Hold on.
Just real quick. And Revelation 17:1. And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters.
Right. So the many waters represents what? The nations. Right? The great whore, that's talking about America. America's that great whore that sitteth upon the nation, that great bully. Right? They have a great influence over the rest of the world, man. Through their military, through their politics, right? Through their media. It's funny that the most powerful and influential media organizations exist in America. Like if you're talking about Hollywood is in America over there in LA. Then even if you want to talk about the porn industry, the biggest porn industry is what? In America, over there in LA. Right? If you want to talk about the music industry in America, like it's funny because there's a app, what's it called, man? Something Garden. Radio Garden or something like that. There's an app and it's a good app. I utilize it. And what you can do with the app, it's got like the globe, the earth as a globe. And what you could do is you can actually key into radio stations from all around the world. So sometimes I'll be just with my, with my seeds and that, and I'll just be like, oh, let's pick a country and see what they're listening to. And you'd be surprised, like, you go to a radio station in the UK, you ain't gonna hear nothing of it. You're gonna hear American music. You go to France, you have French radio stations, and they're playing like hip hop from America and pop music, popular music from America. So America has a great influence on the rest of the world. And what is that influence is negative. Okay, it's wicked.
It says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
That's right, because guess what? The kings of these different nations have forsaken their own ways and adopted the American way. And the American way is basically the love of money, man. Which, hey, guess what we find out? You know, when you go into the Italian, I believe the word is amare, which means love, and rico, which means riches, right? So you got the Hebrew, which is what's it, amaraga, yeah, which is what bitter. But in the Italian, right, with that demon Cristo Cabalone, they said he was Italian, and even in Portuguese, it's a similar. It really means the love of riches. And America represents that. America represents what? Now, what is this? Has anyone got that in the precept real quick? You got that on there?
Yep.
There you go. So it just proved why America is the most wickedest place that's ever existed. For this reason.
This is 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil.
And that's what America's about. America's all about the dollar bill, y'all. Got like the #1 reserve currency on the earth. It's all about what's the American dream all about? What's the capitalistic system all about? Money.
Let me answer like that. Well, even when it comes to like trade and economics, they have 80% of like over 80% of the whole entire world's market share. So that like the older brother mentioned, the dollar is the world reserve currency. Every pretty much 80% of the over 80% of the world's trade has to somehow go through America. You have that thing called intermediary banks. They have their hands involved in everything. So that's why when they place sanctions on a country like Iran, it's so devastating because really and truly they ain't got as much of the market share as America. And if other countries are then seen to be aiding those countries that America
They get caught out of the market. Yeah, because you got what's it called? The SWIFT system. And the SWIFT system basically controls the movement of dollars around the world, and that's how people usually do trade internationally. Now, the SWIFT system is really joint between America and Britain and the rest of these European nations, but America controls it, you know, because they're the whore that sitteth on the beast. Yeah.
Sirach chapter 10, verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
And that's what it is. This kingdom, when you look at America, like, I remember, I'll never forget, man, like you got a guy like Styles P. They always try and like make Jake look crazy. But the Negro in America is pretty much living based upon the way of America. They try and make it look like it's something different, like, but it's not. What did Styles P say? Do what you gotta do if it's getting you shit. That's that typical hip hop. Do whatever you gotta do. You know. Yeah, I remember you had that cat. Was it Sheik Luke said we knew the effects of the crack and the virus. Still push it on my block. Ain't no slacking on my shift. Hey, because guess what? What was it? It was about the money. Yeah, but guess what? When you go back to America, what were them Edomites that went over to America? What was it all about? It was all about the money. That's why the Native American Indians, they got in the way of the money, and what happened? Murder. What does the scripture say? Thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not steal. But whatever got in the way of the bag, they got rid of it. They did what they had to do, whether it be murder, whether it be stealing. And that's the same spirit that America's under this very day. That's why America is the house of what? Bribery. And the scriptures speak about, man. You search for a bribery, the congregation. Hey, the scriptures speak about bribery. America is all about bribery. These celebrities that get up in the celebrity world, in the media, they know it's wicked, but guess what? They get bribed off with the money that they're given. You go into the pharmaceutical industry. You got a lot of these doctors, they know that this shit is this off and it's wicked. But once they get up into them levels and they're earning 100K a year, they're like, yo, we got to keep this thing going. I don't want to rock the boat because, hey, I'm getting 100K a year. I'm getting 200K a year. A lot of people ain't willing to speak out because they're making that guap, man. You got something there?
Yeah.
Bring it out.
This is Job chapter 15, verse 34. For the congregation of hypocrites shall be desolate.
What's a hypocrite? An actor. And that is the way of America. America is all about image from the top on down. It's a fake society. And that fake image has been even more proliferated for what? Something called social media. These fake ass people, man, these fake ass celebrities, and now the average everyday person is born in bare fake makeup, fake lifestyle. Yeah? Faking it till you make it, basically. Yeah? You'll have a rapper broke as fuck, but they'll rent out the Ferrari in the video to have the image of what they're really not. They don't really represent who they are. They're representing a false image of themselves. But that's America, because know what I'm saying? But that's America, because America itself is representing a false image of itself. But what will these Edomites, the big E, you think that America has been what? A beacon of light unto the world. They still say America's the freest country in the world. America's the free world. Yeah, America's supposed to represent everything good, everything that you're supposed to aspire to. Like the rest of the world, you want to be like America. You know, be like us. Yeah, we're progressive. We're the trailblazers. We're doing this. We're doing that. But that's that whole, you know, tying up the pussy. You know, pretending to be a lady.
Yeah.
But then guess what? Really, she getting trained on behind closed doors. She got STDs. She's just bugged out, messed up. Got crack problem. How many of them celebrities got a drug problem, but they hide it up? Smiling for the camera when they're depressed as fuck. That happened with one of them female black artists said, what's her name, man? What was that Motown bitch, man? Oh shit, man. You know the famous man. No, not Aretha Franklin, the other one. With the curly hair and shit. She always had that long curly hair. Damn. I watched Motown as well, man.
Recent.
No, this is back in the day. Motown back in the day, man. What was her name? And she had that like, she was brown skin with them, she always used to wear them nice dresses with them that long ass hair. Anyway, forget it. No. There was another one. Fuck yeah, it's escaping me. But it was like one event where another one of them, I think it was Mary J. Blige. Diana Ross. I think it was Mary J. Blige or something. And she was there at one of the award ceremonies and she was all depressed and all fucked up. And then Diana Ross like elbowed her and said, nah, when the cameras are rolling, you gotta put on that fake shit, you know? So America is about being fake. It is about being hypocritical. It's about pretending, this is God's army. It's about pretending, this is the Ministry of Defense, not the Ministry of War. It's all about propaganda and flipping the script. That's why you got guys like Bill Clinton and Trump and all. It's all fakery. Dudes would be enemies, but really they're friends behind closed doors and all this fake shit. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So it's a hypocritical place, and the hypocrisy is clear for every. I think it came out the other day that they've killed more civilians in Afghanistan than the Taliban have, and that's what you call hypocrisy. The world police. What policy are you enforcing?
Yeah, and it says, and fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery.
Ooh, the tabernacles of bribery, because America is all about bribery. You could get away with whatever you want to get away with money, man. Money. What they want? Cash rule. What was that? Wu-Tang? Cash rule with cream. Cash rules everything around me. Dollar bill, y'all. And that's the spirit. And you don't really hear no song. You don't really hear no song like that in England about pounds rule everything around me. Because that spirit of the worship of money, obviously the whole world worships money, worship the flesh. But that spirit is it's purified in America, man.
I was saying it earlier. I was just saying that money's got like it's got demons, it's got spirits on it as well. Like the fiat currency.
Yeah.
You can see. I was giving an example. You could be walking down the street and like 30 meters ahead of you, you see a crumpled up 20. You wouldn't see other thing. You might not pay attention to a glass bottle, 20, or you'll pay attention to that crumpled up 20, and you get closer to it. You know, it's got spirits on it.
That money, man, the root, and the love of money is the root of all evil, man. So that shows you that America, man, is in tune with pure evil, man. And that's why it's going to be destroyed. It's the tabernacle of bribery.
This is Proverbs 12:26. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor,
but the way of the wicked seduceth them. And that's the main way that our people are seduced, man. They're seduced with the promise of riches, man, in this world, right? And they'll do anything to get it. They'll compromise themselves, man. They'll throw away their integrity to chase money, man. And that's the American way. That is truly the American way. If you want to know what the American way is, it's summed up in this. Do what you got to do if it's getting you shit. It doesn't matter whether it's right or wrong. As long as it's making you rich or getting you money, you do what you got to do. And more, it's coming out in the open. So if a hoe got to do a sex tape, she gonna do a sex tape and get rich off that sex tape. If a nigga got to kill this person, he gonna do what he got to do. He gonna sell this crack. He gonna do what he's got to do. If he, as long as he's made money off it, people will say, yeah, he done well.
Because America normalizes wickedness, and that's their role in society. Because like people will look at you crazy, and like you actually got women that have the mentality of like beforehand there was a shameful thing for a woman to have like a nude picture that's circulating around. Now women are jumping on this thing called OnlyFans, and they're actually selling their pictures because they're like, well, Amber Rose did it.
Do what you got to do if it's making you shit. Yeah. That's what it's all about, man. So and they do it. They sell weapons to look, man. It's all about money, man. War. They'll start a war to profit themselves for money. It's all about the money, man. Okay, that's that wicked place known as America, and they spread that vibration everywhere. People getting divorced for what? Money. You know, it's crazy. That whole system is designed about making money. The prison system, but a big part of it, while is what's driving it forward, is the fact that it's making money for certain people.
And because you're not paying up to Esau. Now, if you was paying up to Esau, then he'll let you run it. But that's what happened with the mafia in the 70s and the 80s, because they were running big schemes with construction companies, you know, doing 10 million projects and then skirting off 3 million off the top. But they weren't paying up to Esau. They were paying up to the Rothschilds, because that's what they do anyway.
Yeah, you weren't paying
one of their many ties.
Yeah, they weren't paying their dues. That's when you see guys get the attention on them, and they get the bigger gangs, the CIA and the FBI come down on them. Because you weren't paying your protection money. Right. It's a protection racket. Right. That's the same. Right. It's no different to your thug that goes into someone's local business and say, well, it'd be a shame if your business got broken into. Right. But guess what? If you pay me such and such, it won't happen. It's the same thing what happens on a bigger level, man.
Russo experienced that. He had a club, and then they used to come to the club and like do like basically they used to like ransack it and all that. But then eventually he said, look, we'll put you on a package to police. If you take the deluxe package, we'll call you before. We're gonna let you know we're gonna do a raid. You know, might arrest someone, and that's how. And that's when he started to clock. Hold on, you know, some corruptness going on here.
Yeah, but that's the way the world is. Cocaine cowboys. The whole city of Miami was built up of coke.
Yeah.
Of cocaine. You watch that documentary, Cocaine Cowboys. They were getting police escorts, man. They were coming off the boat with the cocaine and getting police escorts. Why? Because the police officer was like, yo, what the fuck? I'm gonna take that. If they're dropping me 20 grand each time, I don't give a fuck about this cocaine and shit. I'm only getting paid 20 grand a year. These men are dropping me 20 grand straight off every time.
Oh, they're saying that the French Navy are bringing over illegal immigrants into the UK. Why?
Of course.
Because they're getting
the money.
Because I know, look, man, my dad, I'm gonna say it like that. I'm just gonna say that we had people that came over here, and I'm just gonna say that it costs money. To bring papers, all that costs money, man.
It costs money, man. They're not just doing it by chance, man. There's a whole, it all goes back to money a lot of the time, man. That's how this Edomite controls people and does what he does, man, through money. Is that it on that?
I ain't read it.
I've got something.
Yeah, I've got what you're holding. So that's really cool.
What was that?
Snap.
Oh yeah, you hold that, but you still got Revelation 17. Cause let's jump back into that. Hey man, we just had to segue on that because America, the love of money is the root of all evil, man. That's another reason why America got to be destroyed. And we read it just now. It said that fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery. So that fire is going to be nuclear and plus chariot fire. America is going to be destroyed by way of fire, man. All you people that saw that figure Lebanon, look, man, that weren't nothing, man. Esau Dumbin had conventional weapons that are on the next level. Like everything's gotten bigger. Like nukes have gotten bigger. Because if you compare an atom bomb to a thermonuclear bomb, it's a whole different level. Well, guess what? The normal explosives that they were using in World War II, they got massive bombs not even nuclear, and they're looking like, that's why people are looking at it like, yo, is that a nuke? Because their mind don't even understand that this man has developed the destructive power that's never existed on the earth before.
Yeah.
But it's for a reason, because the Lord wants them to use that destructive power on themselves, man. And that's going to decimate all these cities and these nations and completely annihilate 3,000 square miles of the land known as America, man.
One of those eyewitnesses in the Panama deception. They said that they saw eyewitnesses of a car getting melted by laser. That was back in 1989. So their technology of the sword is always going.
They got destructive abilities, man. But that's a beautiful thing. That's why when this thing kicks off, man, this world is gonna be truly shaken. It's gonna be truly transformed. That's why when we go to build up the kingdom of heaven, we truly are gonna be. It's gonna be like it's gonna be from the ashes of this world. It's gonna be from the rubble, because none of these cities, they ain't gonna be in the kingdom. Oh yeah, let's pop over to Dubai and all the buildings are still there. Nah, man. We're gonna. It don't make no sense. The first cities to be built up are gonna be the Israelite cities, and then the other cities are gonna be rebuilt. But why would we have? We're here. Dubai is just there chilling, and we're here trying to build back up Jerusalem. Like, nah, man. The Lord's gonna break up everything, because they're all built on wickedness anyway.
I guess. Zechariah 5:4. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof.
That's them chariots, man. The house of the thief, Esau, Edom. He's a #1 thief, man, and he's trying to steal. Well, you already break it down. What's the New World Order all about? Trying to take everybody's inheritances. He's trying to consolidate the land and the power that's due onto even the animal. Rascal, even the shark can't even hold the inheritance out here. Man wants to take the ocean. Yeah. Man's talking about Mars. So even the Martian them can't even hold a piece of land now. Yeah. They're talking about going and actually talking. This is how you know this man is the devil. This man is talking about going to Mars and building up settlements and talking about, well, the salary on Mars will be higher than Earth. Bumblehole, like, man's unemployed here. Why don't you focus on?
Well, you know, there was a financial institution that had a scenario. Exactly. They were going through, they got these companies, these financial companies, they go through scenarios, the economic climate, right? And one of them was basically saying, on the training material, they were saying, look, there might be a situation where, there's a vaccine card, with the COVID-19. And those that get the vaccine card and they've got the vaccine card, they might get higher paid jobs, more access to recruitment, and there you go.
Well, it might be a key worker. Might get to be a key worker. Yeah, Remember how they were worshipping key workers?
Yeah.
Remember I walked into I couldn't fucking believe it, man. I fucking tapped through the gate and one guy was standing there like, thank you, key workers.
Wow.
I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, brother, I'm just going to work. I'm getting paid, man. I don't know about all that thank you, key worker shit business. Like, this is like, you're a next class of citizen, isn't it? You're a key worker. But anyway, yeah, man. Go on, let's read that. Fucking mad, man.
Revelation 17.
Hey, but this COVID-1984 thing, it's all part of their plan anyway. It's gonna be an ongoing thing forever. They show you that in that movie, Aeon Flux. It was like a disease. It was just, and in the end, there was no disease. But hey, just like in 1984, there was a war, but then there was no war. It's just a constant state of crisis to justify the control that they got you under.
Call it the new normal.
The new normal, yeah.
Before they call it the war on terrorism.
What happened to that?
Yeah, what happened to that? Where's it?
ISIS. Well, ISIS.
Ain't this the perfect opportunity?
ISIS on TikTok, man.
Revelation 17:3.
ISIS turned into a bunch of booty shakers and.
So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast.
Right? Why is the beast scarlet? Because the beast represents a nation of people. Represents the Edomites, because the Edomites are likened unto red. Not only are they red-skinned people, but their color represents red. Red represents what? Danger. Red represents danger, man. Crimson, crime. That's where you get the word crime, right? He's the red man. And don't give me no bullshit. Oh, black people, listen, man. You Edomites, you're the #1 criminals on the planet Earth, man. You're the smoothest criminal. I'll give you that. It shouldn't have been Michael. It should have been you Edomites. You're smooth as fuck.
But you still got Jake to this day that will try and debate you and question you about this man being the devil, despite the fact that he's evidently to your face fucking you over every single day. But Jacob still look at you like, no, but you can't say that. It's just like, no,
it's getting too peak now. This man is doing too much, man. Boris Johnson and these guys, like, come on.
Says, I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads.
Are you telling me this society isn't about blasphemy? This man is blasphemous, man. First of all, to declare that you turn a man into a woman is a high level of blasphemy. Right. That's blasphemy, man. The Most High created male and female, created he them. Right. To this day, they've never created another gender. It's impossible. How can you create? You can't even. Our minds are so low. If I told you to create another gender, what would you do? You couldn't do it. What is another gender? You know how deep that is. If you was to sit there and say, brother, come up with another gender, what would you do? Like, what you would inevitably do is probably try and come up with a half man, half something. Yeah, but it's not really another gender. You just corrupted what already exists. That's all you've done. You've not come up. You don't come up with. You can't make a third gender. What would that be? What would that represent? Like, you can't. It's all bullshit, man.
This is Micah chapter 2 verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand.
That goes into these elite, which a lot of them elites are what? JOOSs, man. Them JOOSs, like, let's just keep it real. I was just doing a thing about Kissinger. Kissinger, man, JOOS. Like, a lot of these JOOSs on the higher levels, they're in that high level world, man. The Federal Reserve Bank. All the heads of the Federal Reserve Bank are all been JOOSs, man. That's just how it is. And they, they think they're slick. They're trying to come through and do their thing. But what they don't understand is you can't outdo the Most High. The scripture says he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. So everything they're doing is working against them and they don't even know it. They don't even know it. They're digging their own pit.
It says, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple.
Right, the 7 heads represent 7 great nations that Esau's had over the time. The 10 horns represent the 10 nations that make up NATO. The principal nations, because some of them nations is split into a couple pieces now.
And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color.
Purple represents what? Royalty. Purple and the scarlet. And that's what America is. America's like chief of all the Edomites. The chief nation. Among all the Edomite nations there are, America is the chief. How do you know that? When Trump come around and among them other European Edomite nations, even though they don't like him, they got to show him respect. Because they know, like, you know what? What do they say? If you're president of America, what do they say? They say you're the what? The most powerful man in the world. Now, if you're the president of France, they don't say that. You don't get that accolade. Your prime minister, look, Boris Johnson. Ain't nobody take that too serious, period. Because when you're the president of America, you're also the head of the greatest military in the world, and I'll die to protect it. What is it? American sniper. America's the greatest country in the world, and I'll die to protect it. Good for you. And you will. Go on, man.
And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones.
That's them riches that America has. That's them riches. America's got a lot of riches. But guess what? Them riches ain't handed out equally, because you so-called Negroes ain't touching a lot of that riches, man. You so-called Negroes are poor in America. That's why the Bible calls you the poor. Because you are the poor. Don't be looking at Mayweather and Dr. Dre and these clowns. They ain't touching the surface. You understand what America is? America is 3,000 square miles. One state in America is like a whole fucking country, man.
Well, Texas is the size of France. 50.
The amount of money that America's been generating and pushing through. Look, man, you talk about the Koch brothers. Where is the so-called black alternative or pair? What so-called black man you gonna put up against the Koch brothers, man? They'll take Jay-Z. What do you mean they'll take Jay-Z? They do that. Yo, Jay-Z, come here, man. Open your mouth. All up in his mouth, man. You're talking about there's families in America that been had money, man.
This quick article from the Business Insider. It says there are 6, and this was in 2000, well, June the 12th, 2020. It says
Goodness fucking gracious.
there are 615 billionaires in the USA. Only 6 of them are black.
Goodness gracious. And then even if you go down below the billionaire level,
Yep.
and you go down to the man that's got hundreds of millions, how many of them is going to be Jake? About 3.
Probably about
Yeah?
3.
But then you got these Edomites like, I'm a billionaire, my brother's a billionaire. That's what people forget. You got, where's the power black, what are you talking about, the Wayans brothers? You actually got Edomite families that are power fucking families, man.
Right.
The Koch brothers, like, you know, different, the Rockefellers, like, where when they come together in that family reunion, everybody's balling out of control. Everybody's balling out of control. You got these Jakes thinking they made something in America, thinking they're successful. Jake ain't successful in America. Jake might have gotten a little bit of fame in America and got a little bit of influence, which they're still controlled with that influence, but they ain't made it in America. They've not been successful.
It's that generational wealth. It's the point where they call themselves like dynasties, like the Rothschild dynasty.
Who's got Bill Gates?
Dynasties.
Bezos is American as well, isn't it? Bezos come out of nowhere, just his wife's gonna be richer than all you fucking Jakes put together by the time she divorces.
And the worst thing about it is that out of those 6 billionaires, about 4 of them are entertainers. They got Jay-Z, Kanye West.
So if they're generating that kind of money for themselves, that means they've generated more money for the guys that's put them on. That's how it works. And they're not avoiding tax like them Edomites. They're in the club, so they're avoiding all kind of tax.
Yeah.
You know, hey, let Jay-Z get caught out on some real fraud shit. Is he gonna get a presidential pardon like your boy what was that guy's name? Mark Rich. Mark Rich he did the biggest fucking fraud tax evasion fraud scandal in the history of America. And Bill Clinton, your boy, the first black president, was it Bill Clinton? Or was it Bush?
Pardon. One of them puppets.
I think it was Bill Clinton. I think it was your boy Bill, the first black president you niggas love so much. Your boy Bill fucking pardoned Mark Rich, man. Gave him a fucking presidential pardon, man. But he didn't presidential pardon they didn't when Stookie Williams was gonna get the cut. Huh? Bill Clinton, and you know Mark Rich. Most of you niggas ain't ever heard. You got Edomites that's got money. You ain't ever heard of them because they're not gonna do like Mayweather and be all up on the IG. Oh look, I got 1.2 million $20 notes. If you gotta do all of that, you ain't got shit. If you gotta be showing notes of money on a bed, yeah, then that proves to you that we ain't got nowhere. Cause come on, man, that's foolishness, man. Yeah, look over here on the chair. This is all 50s. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? But I think a lot of time the elites are telling them to do that so that when we say we're the poor, they can point the finger and go, oh, look at this little nigga. But nah, you got to deal with it statistically across the broad, man. You add up all them entertainers' money together, they probably ain't half of what Bill Gates got by himself, and he's new money.
Well, Bill Gates could spend over, like, I think there was a thing stat that said you could spend $1 million for about 300 years and he'd still be good. Like, it'll be all right. It'll be nice.
And he's all CIA'd out. He was on Epstein's plane and all that business too.
Yeah, old money, like years of plantation, free labor, generational wealth building up over time, and then interest,
criminal interest,
compound interest. You know, I remember, I think I was like 12 or 13. These are the days of like dial-up internet, and you know, you had websites. Yeah, exactly. And you had like black websites with like green writing. You know, like conspiracy websites with black writing, green writing with black background. Yeah. I used to read through them for hours, right? I remember reading back then. You know, some guy was breaking down that the Rothschild family basically. I was looking into like where does money go. The Rothschild family owned like 99.something% of the world's gold at like 19 something already. At that point, they'd bought it all up. You know, however true that fact is, but you know what? The Rothschilds, man, they're taking pictures next to golden vaults.
They're banking.
Well, there was a saying that if money was God, the Rothschilds would be their prophet. So that just shows you what you're dealing with out here. So when you see these Jake and America, like I said, America ain't never been for you. It's really been for the Edomites. And really, a lot of these Edomites are finding out it's really been for the elites But however, the middle class and the upper classes, they had their good run.
Yeah.
You had a good run. Your elites allowed you to have the white picket fence, and at one point you had a negress all up in the house doing the maid work. So they can't really complain.
Yeah.
They had their peace. The middle class in America was the biggest middle class in the world, and you had your peace. But according to Jake ain't really ever had nothing, man. Okay, go on, let's read on.
And it says,
So we should say fuck America, man. But Jake's still trying to get a piece.
Still trying to make it.
and the woman was arrayed in scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
Abomination. What's the list of LGBT? That's an abomination, man. All this child sacrifice that they doing, abortion, all of that. That's the abominations, man, unto the Lord.
Feminism, white
Feminism is abomination. Yeah, man. Caesar Borgia is an abomination, man. Going on.
It says, and upon her head was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
And now you see that. Who's pushing all this LGBT and all that madness more than anyone else? LGBTQ plus minus all that fucking bullshit, man.
As well, because America as well, like I said, Revelations 11:8 will tell you they're spiritually Egypt and spiritually Sodom as well, because they've taken all like the most wicked elements of all of those wicked kingdoms before them, and they put them into one wicked.
Well, they worship all the gods. Mm-hmm. They worship all the gods from them ancient realms, man. Yeah, that's why in Las Vegas they built up the pyramids, they built up the Eiffel Tower, they built up everything, man. That's why they made that program American Gods, man. They were trying to show you in a roundabout way, like America's dealing with all that, man. Molech is running America right now. Baphomet, yeah. Yeah.
And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahweh Shai. And when I saw her, I wondered.
Because that's going to happen. They're going to come up against the believers, because we're in the front. Right, the believers, we're an affront to the New World Order. We are clean against everything that these people stand for. We are directly opposite to what America and to what these Edomites, what they stand for. First and foremost, they stand for their false right to a birthright, and we're completely against that. That's why these guys have vocabulary. We can't meet no middle ground, because the middle ground would be like, sharing, but there is going to be no sharing. What's our doctrine? Our doctrine is takeover. Yeah. Our doctrine is the kingdom of heaven. Now, there ain't no kingdom, there ain't no part in the kingdom of heaven for you.
Yep.
So that proves straight away, well, this video is called America's Gonna Be Destroyed. So there ain't no negotiation and no middle ground. Bro. So we're totally against, and they're totally against us.
Nice.
There ain't gonna be no middle ground.
Out of precepts? Oh, go on, bro.
Just on the point. This is Psalms 37:14. The wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and needy, and to slay such as be of upright conversation.
That's right. You nowadays they paint it like if a guy speaks against homosexuality, he's the evil one. He's the villain. Like, you're the villain if you speak against homoism. If you speak against all this abomination that's happening in this man's society, you're the villain. You're the bad guy. Meanwhile, these people are on that hashtag Pizzagate. We're against all that. We're against all this idolatry. Oh no, it should be freedom of religion. No, we're against freedom of religion.
Right.
We're against idolatry. How can we be for freedom of religion?
I had a precept.
Yeah.
You said the blood of the saints.
Mm.
It says Psalms 148, verse 14. He also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel. People near unto him, praise ye the Lord.
That's the Israelites, man. And more you see, hey, Israelites are waking up, man, and standing firm for something. Standing for something solid, which is these scriptures, man. And like I said, they even come out and said that. They said, look, the Bible isn't agreeable with modern day society.
Right.
It's totally against, man. This book is totally against this man's society as it is, man, in every way, shape, or form. That's the truth. So if this book is against that and we stand for this book, then we're against that. So naturally, they're going to want to come after us because we're a problem for them. We're a disturbance in the force.
We had it 2,000 years ago when was it Claudius expelled all the Jews.
Oh, and one thing they tried to do is they basically, because at first they when you do the research, they were accepting of the Jews, but the Jews never took part in the Roman feasts and rituals. They were just there. It was known that like, yo, we don't get down like you.
Yeah, well, they told us we can keep our own.
We can keep our own customs, but you see, what you're gonna have to find out is like most other people were like, say, like you was from Persia, right, and you were Zoroastrian or whatever the fuck. If you travel to another place, you'd worship the gods that they worship. You know, that's how people were back then. When in Rome, you do as the Romans do. Oh, this is the god of this place, so I gotta pay homage to the god of this place. Though there was only one people that never had that vibration, and that was Jake. To the most part, I mean the Jake that were in their right mind. The Jake that were in their right mind, when they went to another place, they're like, I ain't worshiping your God. Our God is the God of everywhere. Like, is he the God of the hills? Nah, our God is the God of everywhere. But the other people, they never had that mind frame of there's one God and you should worship this one God. They were flexible. That's the word. Flexible. Most people in the ancient world were flexible when it came to so-called religion. So when you're talking about Rome now, when Rome started catching hell, because Rome started having, because of the corruption and the wickedness, the Lord started judging Rome. So Rome started having problems, just like America today. America's having fucking problems, like the same problems that they were having in Rome. America's having today. Unemployment, immigration issues, pedophilia, breakdown of marriages. Because what's his name, Augustus. When you go back into the when Rome was first began, Rome had a strict moral code. Believe it or fucking not, Rome actually had a moral code, and that's how they built themselves up based upon that structure, that family structure, and that moral code. But then they started falling away from that moral code, with leading on to Julius Caesar. That was all part of Rome falling apart morally, because they started doing all that bribery and that murdering and all that stuff. When Augustus Caesar came into power, was it Octavian, which was Julius. He took upon himself the house of Julii. He was declared to be the son of Julius Caesar, right? Because Caesar, he was from the house of Julius, right? So he adopted Octavian as his son, and he declared himself a god. That's why they named July after him. So when Octavius came into power, he said, well, if Julius was God, then I'm the son of a god. So I'm gonna get August.
Okay.
Because Octavian, I believe he turned into Augustus. Then double check that for me. I believe Octavian changed his name to Augustus Caesar. I don't want to say it now, and I'm mixing it up in the history, but I'm pretty sure it was Octavian.
Originally called Gaius Octavius, he changed his name to Gaius Julius Caesar Octavianus, aka Octavian, upon being adopted by his great uncle, notably Augustus.
Right. So he's Augustus, and I believe he's mentioned in the scriptures. Augustus is mentioned in the scriptures, if I'm not mistaken. With the dearth, I think he's the one that wanted to do one of the censuses, a taxation at the time of a dearth.
And it came to pass in I'll read it. And it came Luke 2:1. And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed.
That's him. Yeah. So when you do the research into that guy Augustus Caesar, he was actually a revolutionary. He wanted to bring back Rome to its previous glory before Julius, because during Julius's time, Rome was really going down. So he managed to do it a little bit. He managed to bring back a little bit of the limelight. But one of the things he wanted to reinstitute was people respecting marriage and all that. Now, what happened was he got fucked up because back then your social commentators were poets and shit, like poets and comedians, right? And his daughter was a fucking thought. His daughter was a freak, a super thotty. In fact, it was known that she said The only thing she wouldn't do is she would only be a thought when she was pregnant for her husband, so that it made sure that her children belonged to her husband. But she was known to be a thought. And this guy, this poet, I forgot the poet's name, he kept bringing it out. So here it is. My man's telling everyone else, look, we got to bring back we got to make Rome great again. We got to bring back those moral values, yeah? And his daughter was Thotiana, man. She was thoughting it out on a different level. And he tried to keep it low, but this guy was putting it out there on social media back then. So guess what? He ended up having to exile his daughter. He exiled her. See if you can find that. Can you Google that real quick? Augustus exiled his daughter. He had to exile his daughter and the comedian. But guess what? It didn't help because we all know that Rome fell any damn way.
Her name was Julia. And he sent his own daughter into exile.
See, we don't be just watching Netflix.
It says when he discovered in 2 BC that his only child, Julia, had been sleeping out of wedlock with numerous influential men, including Mark Antony's son. He banished her to the rocky island of Venice.
He had to back. Now he didn't. When you read the history, he didn't really want to do that. He was trying to play it low and trying to reprimand her. But with the pressure what came on him from the poet, there was a poet that he was like them truthful dudes, man. He was bringing it out, man. He was like, nah, like, how's my man? Look, your daughter's moving loose out here. She's getting done in like a proper Jezzy. Yeah. So yeah, that's all history. So hey, that shows you. Okay.
I've got a couple.
Yeah.
I mean, on the point you made of the Jews.
Yeah, that's why you got to study the history, man. Like the apostles say.
Just a quick example of like the Jews not folding to the gods of the other people. You got Daniel, the example of Daniel and Bel and the dragon. I'll just quickly skip through it and just read through that.
Oh yeah, then we'll finish up the point on why they were persecuting the Jews.
But this is Bel and the dragon, verse 2. It says, and Daniel conversed with the king and was honored above all his friends. Now the Babylonians had an idol called Baal, and there were spent upon him every day 12 great measures of fine flour and 40 sheep and 6 vessels of wine. And the king worshipped it and went daily to adore it. But Daniel worshipped his own God. And the king said unto him, why dost not thou worship Baal? Who answered and said, because I may not worship idols made with hands, but the living power, who have created the heaven and the earth and have sovereignty over all flesh. Then said the king unto him, thinkest thou not that Baal is a living God? Seest thou not how much he eateth and drinketh every day? Then Daniel smiled and said, O king, be not deceived, for this is but clay within and brass without, and did never eat or drink anything. So the king was wroth and called for his priests and said unto them, if ye tell me not this day who devoureth these expenses, ye shall die. But if ye can certify me that Baal devoureth them, then Daniel shall die, for he hath spoken blasphemy against Baal. And Daniel said unto the king, let it be according to thy word. Now the priests of Baal were 70 beside their wives, and the king went with Daniel into the temple of Baal. So Baal's priests said, lo, we go out, but thou, O king, set on the meat and make ready the wine and shut the door fast and seal it with thine own signet. And tomorrow when thou comest in, if thou findest not that Baal have eaten up all, we will suffer death, or else Daniel that speaketh falsely against us. Let me just quickly go to verse 15. Now in the night came the priests with their wives and children, as they were wont to do, and did eat and drink up all. In the morning, the time the king arose and Daniel with him. So basically, the wicked priests went in there and they put on a front to try and deceive the king, and they actually ate the sacrifice that they put to the idol. And the king said, Daniel, are the seals whole? And he said, yea, O king, they be whole. And as soon as they had opened the door, the king looked upon the table and cried with a loud voice, great art thou, O Baal, and with thee is no deceit at all. Then laughed Daniel and held the king that he should not go in, and said, behold now the pavement and mark of whose footsteps are these? So Daniel actually showed the king and said, look, but you're saying that your idol ate the food that was offered onto it, but look, there's footsteps leading into his dwelling. And the king said, I see footsteps of men, women, and children. And the king was angry, and took the priests with their wives and children, who showed him the privy doors where they came in, and consumed such things as were upon the table. Therefore the king slew them and delivered Baal into Daniel's power, who destroyed him in his temple. You know, just to show, ultimately speaking, the heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, is the one and only true power. That's why even what happened in Lebanon recently, they were all shouting Allah Akbar and all the rest of it. But Allah never came to save no one because he's like he's an idol.
Precept, bro.
Wood and stone.
The brother mentioned that you got to, our people never really bow down, and the only ones that are actually really Israel is the Israel the Most High, the elect. Right now, this is 2 Ezra chapter 2 verse 47. It says, "So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of God whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord." So ultimately, it's the elect that ain't gonna in this right now in this kingdom. They ain't gonna bow down to any god, any image, any idol.
That's the spirit that the Lord put on them as his people, his chosen people. And it's like you got different occurrences in the scripture. You go back to the time of Elijah, second king, with the king of Samaria and these captains of tens or whatever. They got smoked in their 50s and all that because they was trying to push Beelzebub and all these other idols and wood and stone that the heathens worship. And Elijah shut that down with the power of the heavens of Yahweh, man. That's the name he proclaimed, and then throughout history, he always proclaimed the name of Yahweh and then his son Yahweh Shai, man. That's the real true power of the heavens and the earth.
Yeah, and that's the power that's going to judge America.
Yeah, that's the power that's judging America now.
That's the power that judges.
Yeah, that's the one that set that bomb off in Lebanon. That was orchestrated by the Heavenly Father, man. More's on the way, man.
So when you go back to Rome now, what started happening was Rome was catching hell. So they had to give a reason for why they were catching all this hell. And one of the reasons they gave was, well, we're all sacrificing, because they started doing sacrifices and trying to, save Rome with all these wicked sacrifices. But they said, but you see these people, these Jews and these Christians, they're here among us, but they don't partake. So it's them. They was like, yo, it's them. They're bringing a curse onto us because they ain't down with what we're down with. They were, first of all, hold on, them Christians, they're talking about some next kingdom. Like these dudes, these dudes are not really with us. Like they're a curse onto us. And the same thing's gonna happen now. Because we're not down with America. We're not down with the regime of making America great again and all this BS. We're totally against it. They're gonna turn it. Oh, these are the guys that's spreading all the hate. These are the reason that we can't come together. These people and their religion. That type of shit. Yeah.
The prophets of doom.
Yeah. Trying to blame all the shit that's happening on us, man. And you got guys that's gonna help them. You got guys painting Great Millstone like, we're the reason for all the gang. You know what I mean? Here it is. We're talking against all the wickedness. But these people are coming at us like we're the greatest evil on the planet Earth, man. Like, like we're really bringing all the problems.
Isaiah 59:15, yea, truth faileth, and he that departeth from evil maketh himself a prey, and the Lord saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment.
That's right. That's talking about the believers, man. And the root of it goes back to the fact that we put away all these idols, the idols of America, we've cast down. We don't want to worship them idols no more. And that's going to put targets, and the number is money. It's like, fuck your money. Listen, we don't take a chip. We don't look, fuck you. We ain't worshiping at the beast. Oh, straight away. Like these guys, we worship Yahweh Hashem and Shai. Oh, see, these dudes are the problem. They don't want to get down with the program. They don't want to get vaccinated. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that. They don't want to accept homosexuals. They don't want to,
So I can say this as well, because you have, like whenever, someone goes on, like Nick Cannon, for an example.
Oh yeah, Salaki, real quick. By the way, I put the channel in the for the brother that asked Cleveland. It's on the screen. Sorry, go on, man.
And I was just gonna make the point, like Nick Cannon, he kind of, when he was in the spotlight, they know who to put in front of that camera, on the TV, and who's gonna say what, who's gonna be watered down, and it's spiritual because it was like towards the end of last year, brothers mentioned a lot that you had the name of Yahweh Shai that was on the news, so we're coming in that name.
That's right. Oh, they don't like that. They don't like that. They don't like, because Yahweh Shai is against America. He's against everything everything they're founded upon. The Lord is against, man. All right.
That's why it also says going to be a great insurrection
against
them that follow.
2 Ezra 16:70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord.
Right, because they don't They hate us, and guess what, man? We hate them. The scripture said the way of the wicked is an abomination unto the righteous, and the way of the righteous is an abomination unto the wicked. We're abominable to them. Okay, because we don't want to get down how they get down and get down with the filth of America and the filth of this wicked ass place, man. That's why we condemn it through the scriptures, man. And then guess what? We turn around and tell you that the Lord is gonna make you destroy your damn self. Okay. Yeah.
Because to take it to a film, even you had the X-Men, and Esau does a lot of that where he shows you things like through movies. You had it to where there was one movie where they was trying to get rid of the X-Men's powers, so they had a vaccination which they had to take, and then you had a couple of them that refused, and you got Professor Xavier, which represented the Coon, talking about we need to negotiate with these people and try and come to some sort of agreement, and Magneto was on the thing of like we just need to take them out. Do you know what I mean? And then they set the Sentinels after the X-Men. That's how but ultimately speaking, that's the elite showing that their agenda is to really and truly eventually come, like I was saying, against the elect, man, for holding fast to Yahweh Shine.
They don't want no one opposition to their lies. They don't want no one to be able to point out their lies and their deception and their villainy to the world, man. These guys are rocking the boat, man. Talking about fucking Christopher Columbus and talking about all our heroes. You still got Revelation?
Yeah. Just quick one. Amos chapter 5 verse 10. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly.
That's right. And everything we're saying is just true. Everything we're saying is upright. You can't find nothing against what we're saying in the scriptures. You can't find nothing against what we're saying. What we're saying is true, man. Realistically speaking, look at the wickedness that's going on in America, man. That's not God's place. Just because Trump said, yeah, good God-fearing people, don't make it true. If they were good, let me tell you something. If America was good and God-fearing, there wouldn't be a single political party that would run under the banner of LGBT. And every single political party in America does. When Trump was running for president and Hillary was running for president, when you went to their campaign websites, they had a section dedicated to LGBT and what they're going to do for that community. That alone lets you know that it ain't God-fearing. So all them fucking conservative Christians that were voting for Trump, you were voting for a man that was pro-LGBT. That was the facts. Otherwise, why would he have what he's going to do for LGBT on his damn website? If anything, he'll be like, look, man, I'm an outlaw or all that. So it's all bullshit, man. On Revelation.
Revelation 17 and verse 6. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahweh Shai. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. And the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel?
Right, because of the glory, because America does have a form of glory. They got a nasty ass underbelly, but they got a form of glory. The great monuments and the military, a great military. We ain't gonna front. Their military is bad to the bone. The technology that wow. Great celebrations, fireworks, displays, big ass cities.
It says, I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which have the 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world.
Right, because America is that beast that was and is not. Basically, Rome all over again. America is the embodiment of Rome and its nations that's underneath it, which is NATO. Right? It was and is not, because the whole system of Rome fell, but then it got built back up, and the head of the Roman Empire is in America now. And what does it say? It goes into what? Perdition. They made a movie called The Road to Perdition. And that's what you're going to find out, man. Go on YouTube, type in the history of America. Guess what? The end of all that is perdition, and it always was meant to be. The Lord set up what does the scripture say? Even Dave, the 8th head, which is even of the 7th, and it goeth into perdition, man. That was the destiny of America, was always perdition, was always going to be destruction, man.
I'll read this. The definition of perdition complete and utter ruin,
Woo!
a state of eternal punishment
Woo!
and damnation to which a sinful and unrepentant person passes after death.
That's right. A sinful and unrepentant person.
Esau's the man of sin.
Esau's the man of sin, man. America represents a great sin that has been committed. A great sin. So the Lord is going to punish that place, man. It was always set up to be. Don't look at us like we're crazy. And you can see that, and we're going to bring it out. It's all irony. Because who was the first nation to use atomic weapons on another nation? Unrighteous.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful because we're going to bring it out through the precepts that they're going to be the last nation that them same weapons that, check it out. They're the ones that started this shit. They like to talk about Iran and, oh, Iran have got this new thing.
Weapons.
Listen, who was it that brought that to the table? You brought it to the table.
Yeah.
It's just like when England used to be getting their ass whooped at cricket for West Indies. Well, you invented the game. Now you're getting your ass whooped.
But it's funny because they were like,
Well, they ain't invented football. They can't win the World Cup again.
they would be like the guys that were dropping bombs and all that. You know, America known for that.
Yeah.
Because Russia ain't known. Not Russia's got nukes.
Russia ain't never nuked nobody.
It's not known for that.
No
But
other nation has nuked anyone.
But that's coming.
There's only, let's get one thing correct.
Yeah.
There's only been one nation that have used atomic weapons. And it ain't Iran. It ain't no crazy Arabs. It weren't no crazy Arabs nowhere, man. It was you crackers, and you justified it. And the dude that actually was on the plane that dropped the fucking bomb went on RT News and said, I'll do it again. He said that. He said, yo, here it is. He ain't come back and said, you know what, man, in hindsight, man, like, maybe that weren't the best thing to do, man. After I saw the destruction that weapon caused, all the fucking collateral damage, yeah, because they didn't destroy no soldiers. They dropped that shit on a city. Civilians. People with faces melting off, children melting off, man. Not only that, they fucking polluted the earth, man.
Hey, can I read this? This is
D20.
On what? Oh yeah. We're gonna get that. Yeah.
It says as this is talking about Robert Oppenheimer. It says, as he witnessed the first detonation of a nuclear weapon on July 16, 1945, a piece of Hindu scripture ran through the mind of Robert Oppenheimer. Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
And after Esau saw that death and destruction that weapon caused, did he say, nah, you know what, man? Like, war is one thing, but this is too much. We're just gonna just stop that. Like, you know what I mean? That, we're all Christians, right? You know, you know what, man? We're a Christian nation. Like, if it is, he's fucked. You know what, man? He's probably gonna get fucked up by the JOOS tube. JOO tube. Right? JOO tube's gonna hit me up with the algorithm. But fuck me, mate. Look, yeah. We say the word fuck or something like that. These people start losing their fucking minds, yeah? And these people have dropped fucking nuclear weapons, man, on women and children. And they just getting a pass like, that's cool. That's all right. But these Israelites, yeah, you know, these Israelites, they're something else. But these men could just openly be dropping bombs out here. Madness, yo. Read a bit more of this, and then we're going to jump into this article, man, going into the destruction that's coming, man. And you deserve it, man. It's poetic justice, man. Fucking assholes, man.
I get it. Even with this situation in Lebanon, like, because Netanyahu was the first to come out and say, no, it wasn't us. That just shows you're guilty, man.
Guilty, fuck.
Guilty by...
Yeah, they tried saying, what were they saying? They stored their land? Fertilizer or some shit? Yeah, you know, because they're stupid Arabs, so they wouldn't know how to fucking store that shit. Like, and it caused a big ass fucking explosion. Like, nah, like they fucking dropped some weaponry on there to start a coup in Lebanon and do what they got to do. And you know how we know? Because listen, man, anytime there's destruction on that scale, like, it's the Most High, but Esau got to be involved somewhere there, man. Because Esau is into that kind of shit, man. That's what gets Esau hard. You want to see Esau get rock hard? Fucking watch Future Weapons on Discovery. Watch them motherfuckers talking about them weapons. Yeah, this weapon here. They love that shit. They love it. Esau love the idea of a big missile. He's got that complex in it, you know.
Had that in that
movie, that syndrome.
Beneath the Planet of the Apes, they was worshipping the damn missile.
Yeah, there was, yeah.
That's compensating, you know.
Alpha and Omega. They call the missile Alpha and Omega.
He loves them
they
big
call
missiles.
the missile Alpha and Omega, bro.
Yeah,
like,
say it.
It's one of the beginnings of their power. It's going to be the end of their power.
Exactly.
I was going to read something.
Yeah. Go
Yeah,
on, man.
just because you remember you read the Saints'
Yeah.
blood
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
in Babylon.
Satan.
Because you know, that would mention the poetic justice. Well, this is poetry, so I'm gonna read it. Numbers 35 and 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
The Native American, the blood of the Native American Indians, man. So, and they made movies about that, making mockery, like Pet Cemetery. Remember they had that film, Pet Cemetery?
All them old school cowboy movies, Yamaha and all these Tomahawk like cowboy movies, they always, vindicating themselves of taking down the Native American tribes.
Yeah.
Like they were savages and they had to just be brutalized.
But that blood is currency. Hey, we got certain brothers around here that's bankers of the year. They'll tell you about when you're in the red. When you're in the red, like, yeah, you got to pay up. That blood is like currency. When you spill blood, unrighteous blood, is like being in the red. Literally, you got a debt that you have to pay, a heavy debt, a thick claim.
Blood debt.
It has to be paid, and that debt has just that debt clock. You see that debt clock that's rolling, the monetary one. Guess what? The blood version of that is spinning too. It's spinning. The amount of innocent blood that's shed in that place is constantly spinning, man. With the big pharma, how many people did they've killed?
Heaping sin upon sin.
Sin upon sin. Just like they stack up them nasty ass that JOOS on Man versus what's it called? Man versus Food.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that JOO dude. Yeah, you know how he goes in diner and he might have a diner with a burger stacked this high. That's America, man. Stacking up all that blood.
Like in Revelation 17 and 8, continuing on. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world.
Yeah, because only the ones written in the book of life are going to be delivered out of America. No heathen. First of all, no heathens are worthy. All people are, who made you perfect? Well, Yahweh Shai made the elect perfect. The scripture says there is no condemnation in them that are in Yahweh Shai. The Lord went upon. That's why you keep telling you vocab. You don't know the scriptures. You had blacks that sold blacks into slavery. Yeah. Brother, my man, listen to what we're telling you. Because obviously you ain't read the Bible. The scripture says all sin is forgivable except for blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. So it really don't matter what Jake did. What are we preaching? Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is bringing redemption. That's why he went up on the cross and was a sacrifice. So the elect are covered. The elect are blameless in the sight of the Most High through Yahweh Shai. So you could bring up blacks do this, and you Hebrew Israelite, Trump support. You shut up, man. You demon, man. Let me tell you this. Oh, when them bombs are dropping in America, you're gonna have heathens there worshiping all kind of gods. They're gonna be calling on every move doing all that shit. Yeah, they're gonna be calling on Hare Krishna or the 550 million Hindu gods. Because pretty much in America you'll find the worship of every idol. So every man's gonna refer to his idol. Some people, their idol is FEMA. They're gonna be with a drop ship. They've been calling for a drop ship. Maybe the president might still be there. Yo, Air Force One. Yo, get me out of here. Guess what, man? The beautiful thing is all them idols is gonna be sleeping that day. All them idols is gonna be asleep that day. You know who's gonna be awake? The living power, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. And that's what's gonna prove it's the work of the Lord. Because everyone's gonna see, hold on, the only people that got delivered are the elect of Israel, man. The only people. The only people. Ain't no fucking heathens, no concubines, and none of, just the pure, the brethren and the chosen family and children are going to be delivered up. Everyone else that's on the shores of America, if you're a heathen or wicked ass Jake, you're going to get burned up. There ain't going to be no escape, man. That's the judgment of the Lord. That's why the scripture says they're going to be wondering whose name ain't written in the book of life. Because if your name ain't in that book of life, man, you're going to be destroyed, man. Point blank, period, man. I don't care if you got an Iron Man suit and fucking Captain America's unobtainium adamantium fucking shield, man. With vibranium from fucking from Black Panther, man. or whatever that purple fucking LSD fucking purple leaf shit that he was drinking, man. That fucking lean, that purple lean he was drinking, man. Don't care how if you've taken all your vaccines that year, man. You're gonna get burned up, man.
Can a heathen even go in a chariot?
No,
Exactly.
nah, not them chariots, not them chariots for salvation. No, why would you? Lord don't care. They're gonna get burned up right there and then. The marriage of the lamb ain't for. That's a holy communion right there. The marriage of the lamb.
Oh, like with the wicked, they had that film Eyes Wide Shut, and the guy had the password to the first room, but he couldn't get into the inner courts.
Yep.
He even can't get into
No.
righteousness. You can't get through that place, man. Oh,
and that's gonna prove it's the power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua.
There was that brother that had that dream.
Okay,
recently, an apostle Tahar, we uploaded it, and he said in his dream that there was a brother, I can't remember the name of the brother, but he was inside the house with the rest of the Akim, and he was wearing white, and there was people that wanted to come in the door, but they couldn't get in. It was like
because this ain't for everybody, man, and that proves the power of the Lord. This proves it's election. Because if a couple Muslims made it, the man could have a case, right? Well, yeah, maybe Allah lives. Nah, Allah don't live, brother. So you guys are finished out here. You're done. Well, if you're a heathen, you're done. But all you prison jakes, you're done, 100% done. The prison religion, man. And it just is what it is. That's why the Lord said, call ye upon your gods, let them save you. And they will. People are going to be calling on their gods, man.
But they won't save you.
Because they don't exist. The Lord said that none shall deliver out of my hand, I kill and I make alive. So if you ain't on the list of the book of life,
done. That's crazy. You be walking. Even so I'm thinking like in that time, man, it'd be crazy. You'd be walking, and like someone's getting judged, and they're right in front of you, and they're calling upon Allah, and you're just there like, maybe he's asleep.
Yeah.
that Elijah spirit.
That's the same spirit.
Yeah.
Because these people are gonna find out. These people that worship the government ain't gonna save them. The Pentagon, all of that's gonna get roasted out here. Jerk city. That proper jerk too. I ain't talking about that fucking fake ass Jamie Oliver fucking jerk. They're gonna get that real hot pepper jerk in, man.
Marinate overnight.
48 hours.
48 hours. Sorry. 48 hours. I need to brush up.
Yeah, man. Brian. Anyway, go
real quick. Isaiah 31:1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Yahweh, Holy One of Israel, neither seek they the Lord Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai.
So all of you that put your faith in the beast, and one of you that take the mark, you guys, you trust in Esau's government and in his military might, it's not going to stop the judgment of the Lord. So you got to think about that. Anyway, let's carry on. I want to get to this article.
Revelation 7:30.
We're good. Go on.
Revelation 7 and 17. Salakia. Continuing on from verse 9. And here is the mind. And here is the mind which has wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth.
Right. What's the mind? You know off the top of your head, brother?
Okay. You got Jermaine Minor,
Jermaine Major. That's 2.
Greece. You got Greece. You got Italy.
Rome. Yep.
Rome.
Gaul. Yep.
The
France. Yep.
That's the goal.
Yep. And then what? Britain is one of them.
Yep.
All right. Go on. That was it. That was we got then.
Yeah.
I was just,
It says, and there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is. And
so who were the 5 that were fallen? Jermaine Major, Jermaine Minor, the Greeks, the French, and the Spanish. Right? Go on.
It says, and the other is not yet to come.
That one is talking about the Brits, which they didn't come into a power until the Edomites took over the British Empire. Because the British Empire originally started with Jake, but then them JOOS's got up in there and they started taking power. They started taking down certain families and getting power, getting the royal family in debt and all that and taking over.
It says
the Rothschilds. That's why by the time you got around to Queen Queen Victoria personal advisor was Lord Rothschild. And hey, we don't know how true it is, but the word on the street was he might have even been her father, and he was still having sex with her. There's information out there. We don't know how true it is that really the current royal family are crypto Rothschilds. That really it was illegitimate. Basically, my man was popping the queen. He was popping Lord Rothschild was he kept having he used to have a lot of meetings with her. And the word out there was he was popping the queen. So my man, was it Albert? What was his name? George? That German, what was his name? The German
I think it was Albert.
Albert or George.
Victoria's,
they're saying that basically the children that he had with Victoria weren't really his. They were really Rothschilds. Which for me, I wouldn't put it past the Rothschilds to sow that seed up in there. So maybe they are Rothschilds.
The original, the royal family that's in there now, they're offshoots of the German. Yeah. They're German anyway. So
but that's what the man's saying is that they ain't German. They're Rothschilds. Yeah. But the Rothschilds are originally from around there anyway. I don't know what was the name of the prince they brought? Albert.
Albert was a king that was married to Victoria.
Right. So the word on the street was Rothschild was her advisor, and basically he was popping her. So it was a bastard thing, illegitimate thing. The child, she was giving Albert bun basically. You know what I mean? But we don't know for a fact, you know. But it wouldn't surprise me if it turned out the House of Saxe-Coburg go for that they're really Rothschilds. I mean, and it would make sense that the Rothschild would sow their seed into the royal line in Britain, because that's a heavy line right there. But you know, find out in the kingdom.
The British royal line, yes, up in amongst the royalties.
Yeah. So you know, we don't know. It could be, it could not be, but we'll find out in the kingdom. And if that's the truth, Victoria, you know, she go she gonna have to get beat up. She was thoughting out.
And the beast that was and is not, even he is the eighth.
The beast, that's America. America came out, he's gonna say of the seventh, right?
And is of the seventh and goeth into perdition.
And that proves why Britain, I'm sorry to say this, man. I'm sorry to say this. It pains me in my heart to say that you ain't gonna make Britain great again. There is not gonna be no resurgence of the great British Empire. Them good old days, man. Tucking the forelock and all that business, man. Stiff upper lip things. That's done, brethren. Yeah? You had your time. The time of the British Empire, and it was great. You had a gay old time. You were doing good. But guess what? After World War II, America took over, man. That was your last hurrah. That was your last opportunity. That's what, because Germany was threatening you. So you thought, yeah, we'll destroy Germany in this world war. You know, and then at the end of it, really, America just took over and took the lead. And you've been like America's little lapdog ever since. The special relationship. You've been sucking up on America's balls. That's why France and them Germany don't respect you. Because when you go back in, when they came into the EU, Britain was already on its way down. They said they were Europe's paupers. But they let your ass in the EU and they gave you special treatment so that you could keep your pound. Most of the laws in the EU are written by British lawyers. And they were getting hosted up. That's why you had another guy that came out and he basically said, look, man, Britain don't know what they've done. What they're going to find out is that the power that the influence that Britain has in the world has been for two reasons. One, because they were part of the EU and NATO. Two, because they were they had a special relationship with the big dog. But now they've removed themselves from the EU. They don't got no influence, man. Because the rest of them, man, is like, who are you though? America don't even rate you no more. So who are you by yourself? They can't talk to Germany and France. Germany and France is like, yo, like, you just a bitch. And it's true. You can see that happening. That's why the EU's been doing Britain dirty. Britain thought they were going to do all this hardball. And they said, oh, the EU needs us more than we need them. So they're going to give us a good deal. And Barnier was like, yo, what's up with the bull, man? Like, what's up with these guys? Are they for real? Like, who do you think you are? You want to have your cake and eat it? There's only one nation on this earth that can have their cake and eat it. And that's America. They're the mans that will come in and just do a bully deal. Because it's America. Britain ain't America. You know why? Because we read it in the precepts. So if you understood prophecy, you would know that you were gonna have power for 1 hour with what? With the beast. So the power that Britain was gonna receive was gonna be as being part of the beast, but they want to leave the beast and be like America and do their own thing. It's not prophecy, man. Let's read that again. You see what I'm saying? It's not prophecy. So geopolitically, what Britain tried to do was foolishness according to prophecy, because you ain't gonna get the juice back. The juice was given unto America, and then the scripture tells you what? America's gonna go into perdition. It didn't say, and then the seventh head was gonna come back and do their own thing. Man, the whole dragon is gonna get burned up, man. So you guys should have just stayed in the EU and ride it, you know. Now you fucked up. Now COVID-19 hit at the same time. Brexit. And everywhere you go in Britain now, you just see people on the streets. Brothers, have you noticed that? Have you noticed that, man? Have you everywhere you go, every Esso, every fucking petrol station, there's a dude outside cracked out.
I've been saying to brothers, like the majority of these, like North London is fucked. Like it's so bad.
White Hart Lane,
Tottenham, like all up
they
to
built a new stadium there, but outside of that stadium,
it's about to get worse. When that October, what's that thing called?
The furlough.
Yeah, when that furlough goes, you're gonna see, you know.
Well, they're gonna be on that. They're gonna be on that UC.
You know, Lithia. You know, even on the streets.
Central London, like Mayfair, bro. Like in Central London and Mayfair, which is supposed to be like one of the greatest areas in Central London, like they got boarded up shops and graffiti everywhere
and homeless people. But they already had a problem with the homeless because they had to move all of them out for the wedding. You know, it shows you how royal them mans are. They moved out all the homeless people for the wedding. Like, didn't help them or nothing. Just moved them out for one day. It's a joke thing. You go down Moorgate and all them regions. Go down Moorgate and all that place. Go outside Moorgate station, take a left, and then another left. Yeah, on the main road, heading down towards Baker Street and that. And do that about 5 in the morning. All you see is just bare people like just on the street, just laying there sleeping overnight, man, next to the shops. It's not a joke, and it's gonna get worse. It's getting worse out here.
So right now they're saying, according to the BBC, 1 out of every 4 workers in the UK is on furlough. So that's about 8.9 million people that are gonna be fucked come October when that furlough scheme gets cut. Because even as of now, I think the employers have to make a contribution towards it, but then there's gonna come a point where they scrap it totally, and it's gonna be up to the employer to keep you. But where there's no jobs, like everyone's scared of this pandemic, that they're not gonna go out and spend their money. So it even says that the scheme,
except for Monday, Wednesday when they get half price. Hey, because I went out, but I was out on the South Bank there. Everybody was out. People are out having a good time, eating. People that got the money anyway, eating and drinking. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday on Baker Street, that shit was packed. And Nando's had a big fat. I never seen a line in Nando's like that, big fat line. So that 50%, but that ain't gonna save the economy. That's just welfare. That's government welfare trying to stop gap it for a little while, keep the ball running for a little while. But that's ended at the end. At the end of the month, you think every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, people are going Nando's if it's not 50% off.
And the thing is, you got 50% off, but the businesses are limited with social distance. So you're not even making the kind of money you was making. You're not making money as it is. Just you're limiting the amount of people coming in. Your footfall.
And what happens after August? They're gonna have to subsidize that shit every day. Inflation.
It says,
hey, but we be taking advantage of that shit, man. Trust me, I fucking take, it spoil the Egyptians, innit?
God.
I take all them dainty meats, man.
More than a quarter of the UK workforce is now being supported by it, and it has cost so far. The cost it has reached so far is 19.6 billion. And the government got to recoup that some way. So one of the ways they probably might do it is raising taxes, which is going to infuriate the people even more.
Well, everything's going to hyperinflate anyway.
The whole thing, basically, all that ain't going to matter. Everyone's just going to have to be on welfare. They're already talking about it. They might have to just this, and they've been preparing that. What they call it, the universal basic income. That's your rationing. But then guess what? If you're going to be on that UBI, you're going to have to follow the government line. You have to take that chip. Yeah, you're gonna have to take that chip, man. Yeah, we'll save everybody. We're just gonna have to have a system where we control the food, we control everything, and everyone's gonna have to just get what you're gonna have to get. You can see that's where it's going. The whole system's gonna have to be revamped, new world order, and change. It's that capitalistic system. It ain't gonna work no more. It's gonna just be like a communist socialist type system. And what the fuck do you think 50% of food for 3 days out of the week is? That's fucking that's welfare right there. You just basically giving man food stamps.
Yeah.
Another way of giving man a food stamp. You're saying, yo, you can go Nando's and get 3 wings for £1.89. Hold that, Bridget. Eat that. Get yourself half a chicken for £3 something. Like what?
Yeah, that's that rationing. That's that rationing, right?
Hey, that's how I know this place is fit. This
It's done,
is,
done. They'll
they,
never
up
turn
there,
that back.
come on, man. What?
Quick scripture on the point.
Gee.
If I may, this is 2nd Ezra 16 and 21.
What is this?
Behold,
Yeah,
victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion.
And you see that happening, man, building up towards the winter. There's so many things we could go into, man. Like China, like 75% of their rice crops finished.
Done.
Finished, done.
Done.
The rain, the Lord just sent the floods.
The corn.
The corn was getting
Rotted.
nyam off by
Rotted.
all them
Locusts.
death moths or whatever the hell that shit called.
Meanwhile, the
Army moths, no, army moths.
Meanwhile, they're dumping the dollar.
Dumping the dollar, all that beautifulness, like all that COVID meat production getting shut down, and you know, bad weather everywhere. So it's being set up to be a fucking winter's coming.
Yeah.
So yeah, hey man, that's why it looks like it. It looks like it. All the furloughing and everything is leading up towards winter.
It says Revelations 18 and 11, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th and is of the 7th.
He's of the 7th. What that proves that it's talking about America. Because Britain, and then, you know, listen, we go into the history of the time. What was the reserve currency of the world prior to the dollar? The pound. And then it shifted to who? The dollar. That was a passing of the torch. And when did that happen? After World War II. And then that's why Britain had to start beggy to all of the West Indian man, the Windrussian man to come up and try to build up Britain.
That's it. That's it.
Because people don't know, the Windrush man came over here. They paid to get here. They weren't no fucking refugees. Yeah, one guy I work with told me that all the time. Yo, like the Windrush mans didn't come here to fucking serve. They came here to fucking because they were actually well-off people in the West Indies. You had to pay. It weren't no fucking poor dude on them boats. It was people that could afford to pay. They paid to get to Britain.
They were dressed to the nines.
They weren't no fucking. They came here because Britain said, "Yo, we need you to help," and they were like, "Yeah, we'll go get paid, and we're gonna get ourselves paid up and come back to the The plan was to get paid up, get this whatever they need, and come back to the West Indies. Or what did Esau do? He fucked with them, you know, to try and keep them there.
And then they came here and they
put them
suffered.
in jail. And then put them in jail for stupid crimes, sus.
And that's why they're still here. Some of them they had to deporting them back because they think they don't need them no more.
And I appreciate.
Yeah, go on.
Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 12. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert.
That's America, hindermost of the nations, a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert, because of the destruction that's coming. Right. And it's gonna make that Lebanon thing look like that little shit. You know, look like a firecracker popping off. When that shit pop off for real, like when you see that shockwave that came from that blast, boom blast, and my man's flying back through the window, glass going everywhere from that shockwave from that little thing. What's gonna happen when they drop all that? Imagine a shockwave from a thermonuclear weapon there. Bumbuckler, like that's bro. When that shit went off, even the man's hearing it through the earphones. The shockwave nearly bust up my brain, and I'm not even nowhere near there. But hey, yo,
I'm hearing it from Cyprus.
Yo, boom blast, Ross Clark. That's some serious shit. But guess what, man? That's what's coming. America in a bigger way than that. Sounding off, man. Boom blast. Man, I have to cut that bass line. Hey, they love that bass line, right? Yeah. It's gonna be the heaviest bass line ever. Jeez.
And goeth into perdition.
So the 7th is gonna be, the 8th is gonna be of the 7th, because America came out of Britain. Yeah, Britain. They went over there, had the colonies on the East Coast. Those are all the English name sounding places like Boston, New England, New York, right? And then you had down south, the French Louisiana and all that. They had the French down there, the French cracker, the French version of cracker, and then over there in the West, coming up out of Mexico, you had the Spaniards, man. Right? But then guess what happened? The Spaniards were defeated, right? And the French, they sold out because they got yellow belt. The French have always been that kind of yellow when it comes to it. So fucking that's how the English. That's why they speak English in America, man.
Yeah.
And, you know, and they always praise the Magna Carta and the England, because they know that the basis of America really goes back to England rather than France or rather than Spain.
Then they tried to celebrate the Day of Independence and all that.
All that bullshit.
Yes.
Can I read this back quickly?
Yeah.
Little Boy, which is one of the atomic bombs that were dropped on Japan. Yeah, Fat Man and Little Boy. Little Boy released about 15 kilotons of energy equivalent to 15,000 TNT. Fat Man exploded and gave 21 kilotons, equaling 1.2 megatons, 1,200,000 TNT, right? Making it 80 times more powerful than a Little Boy. Now, 80 times.
80.
One of the most terrifying nuclear bombs ever tested or detonated was the Tsar bomber, set off by the Soviet Union in 1961, producing an insane 50 megaton blast, about 3,333 times more powerful than the Little Boy. That leveled an entire city.
And how strong was that shit that went off at Lebanon? That probably went nowhere near even Little Boy. You know what I mean?
So when these nukes go off in America,
it's gonna be a madness.
Yes.
Unrecognizable.
That's why the Earth said the whole Earth's gonna real
strong,
man. Like literally, man. The vibration is so
blast.
strong. 200 million missiles, man.
Mad thing. Mad thing, sad thing.
Lebanon was like what they said, 3.5, like a magnitude earthquake. When that thing went
4.9
off,
or
it was like 4.9 or something.
I got a preset.
When those missiles touch America, there'll be tsunamis, earthquakes, all at the same time, man.
Got a preset.
Pop blocking and rolling.
This is Ezekiel chapter 21, verse 9. Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth, it contemneth the rod of my son as every tree.
Yeah, man, the main sword is them missiles, man. That's why people don't understand when that World War III comes, it's gonna be a lot of death, man, because the destructive power that even when they said like when World War I, you brothers was there, you went to the Imperial. World War I, they didn't understand. They didn't understand. Like they were used to a different type of warfare, a couple of cannons, you know. When they look up little artillery shells and them. Now the war of the machines, everything was changing now. They got these big 50 caliber. You saw them guns of Navarone they had on them fucking ships.
Yeah. Now they got drones to do it for them.
Yeah. Now they got fucking.
Now they're sending them.
World War II was a madness.
Yeah.
World War II, they show you that in fucking Save It Private Ryan, man. You see that scene on the beach? But it's a fucking madness. Man's getting one dude's looking for his arm. And now, bro, it's a different. They got them. Listen, the Hellfire. They ever show you them videos where they Russia caught up on one of them fucking ISIS dudes? Who's just in the truck. Boom! That was a little shit. That was a little missile. They got missiles that will take out your block easily. Hit your fucking block. Niggas that talk about their blocks. Boom! The whole block is crumbling. That's
Isaiah 9 and 5.
Wait.
For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire.
Bro, the way the war is more destructive now than ever. It's infinitely destructive.
Too sophisticated.
Like when this World War III happens, these cities are gonna get fucked up. It's not like how it used to be. A man might roll through your city with some bow and arrow movements, yeah? And they might dash a little you know, like Game of Thrones. You can't even use Game of Thrones because they got fucking dragons and shit. Like a normal, battle. Man's running through your city, but the city might, there's some.
Set a fire.
Yeah, might set a fire or two, but you could still basically see the city is there. Now, bro, have you seen some of them images from fucking Syria? Motherfucking rubble. Motherfucking rubble. Pure rubble out there. Like, then that ship exploded. It created a fucking hole in the earth, yeah, where the water was in it. and all around it is rubble stuff. And that was one explosion.
Isaiah chapter 17 verse 1.
Yeah, Revelations. You hold it. Revelations. Let me say, man, fucking Red Horse, man.
6 and 4.
6 and 4. Yeah.
This is Isaiah chapter 17 verse 1. The burden of Damascus. Behold, Damascus is taken away from being a city, and it shall be a ruinous heap.
So Damascus is gonna get it, man. And you might think like, nah, listen. Even if they don't use the nukes at first, the conventional weapons that these nations possess, I don't know, man. People got to do the research, because you know what? People are not used to war. You know, people in the West, yeah, they don't experience it. Like, it's like they don't experience. Like, if you talk to a guy that was in Iraq when that shock and awe was happening, they'll tell you like, whoa, you know, or if they was in Yugoslavia, like, raw, like the destruction is different. Man in America don't know about the destructive power of these militaries. They might see on TV, but it's like, you have to experience it, man. And imagine that what one Hellfire missile can do. Do you know how many Hellfire missiles America possesses? That's a standard. That's their standard go-to missile. So you chilling in your block, and they send just one of them Hellfire missiles through to your block, man. It's causing fucking problems out here. So imagine when World War III happens, and these dudes are like no holds barred, dropping missiles and launching off missiles in each other's cities, man, in London and Paris and Nice and then Manchester, and Manchester's just dropping bombs, man. Do you know the kind of destruction that's gonna be going on?
Oh, I did a video once on about nuclear weapon, technology or whatever, and there was one that was going into what happens when you blow a nuclear weapon. And one of the things that stood out to me is even the people that are out so far out the radius, they get blinded by the light.
Yeah, if you look directly into the light, it blinds you, man.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying. That's why World War III is going to be so destructive on the earth, and that's why the scripture says this. Let's get this scripture real quick, man. Hey, man, this is going to be madness, yo. Let me get this one.
Terrible times.
It says here, 2nd Ezra 16 and 28. For of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and the clefts of the rocks. As in an orchard of olives, upon every tree there are left 3 or 4 olives, or as when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them, and diligently seek through the vineyard. Even so, in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword, and the earth, listen to this, the earth shall be laid waste.
Wow.
Just so imagine that Lebanon thing, but everywhere. Yeah. And the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel there through. The virgin shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands, because they're going to get scripted up. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. So you listen, man. Like I said, like World War III ain't no fucking joke, man. It ain't gonna be. They ain't gonna be TikToking their way through World War III. Trust me, you're gonna be shook to fucking death, because every missed bomb that goes off could be you. That's why people get shell shocked. That's why people get fucked up, because you're around and boom, boom. You know what I mean? And you don't know when the next bomb is gonna be on your building.
That's why they got these nuclear bunkers, and recently I think they reported it was like Donald Trump, he was in his bunker.
Yeah, 2 months ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was in his bunker. They were like just kind of mocking it,
Yeah, but they know what's up, that's why.
It's gonna be nasty. With Russia and America butt heads, it's gonna be nasty, man. You see what Russia did to ISIS, right?
I've got a piece of
China and all that.
Real quick. This is Isaiah 13 and 17. But behold, I will stir up the Medes, and the Medes are the modern day Russians. And the Lord said through the mouth of through Ezekiel the prophet, that he was going to stir up the Medes, so he was going to put the anger in them to do what they're going to do. Against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on
talking about their missiles, man.
And they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children.
Well, like America. That's what they did when they dropped, which we're still gonna read it before we get out of here. That's what they did in hell. They didn't spare no. My man was driving in the plane and think, yo man, I dropped this fucking atomic weapon. There's bare children and babies down there. That's peak.
I was flying.
He said he'd do it again.
Yeah.
He said he'd do it again.
He came in that Tony Blair spirit.
I was flying in his B-20 bomber, just looking down, thinking, yeah, dropped the bomb,
Dropped it. Boom.
ground zero.
Boom.
So
Just blew the masculinity out of Japan for the next 70 years, bro.
No, for real.
They're still feeling it to this day. They
They was
want their,
emasculated as
yeah,
fuck.
man. They want their revenge, man. They're still talking about that event.
They want
to
their
this
balls
day, man.
back. And Obama, the great Obama, the Nobel Peace Prize, because it's known that no president is willing to apologize, because then they have to admit they did something wrong. So no president, for all these years that they've been allies with Japan, no American president has ever gone to them, because they have a memorial for it.
Yeah.
None of them have ever come out and said, you know what, Japan, we did you dirty, like them bombs, you know, it weren't Christian. It weren't the Christian thing to do, and we're sorry. Because if they come out and say they're sorry, when you say you're sorry, you're basically admitting that you did it wrong. So even the great Barack Obama, he was at the anniversary. What? Because it was the anniversary, innit? No, what? Was it 2015? Was it 2015?
Second term or whatever.
Was it 100? When was the 100-year anniversary? We talking? No, not 20. No, it was the 50. Was it the 50 year?
I'll take that.
What anniversary was it that he went to, man? It was some crazy anniversary of World War II. Well, it can't be 100 yet. It was some anniversary, might be 50 or something like that. But yeah, Obama was at the thing, and I think it was all up in the news. Obama refused to apologize for the dropping of the bombs on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, man, because they told him, look, man, whatever you do,
I was just quickly confirmed.
he's saying about he didn't apologize for the bombing. But yeah, it happened. Obama, and that's Obama, the Nobel Peace Prize president, and he didn't even want to apologize. And Trump, Trump ain't fucking apologizing. He was a wicked, man.
Wicked ain't gonna do that.
it
It's
was
in
the
the
50th.
scriptures.
50th.
Was it the 50th?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he refused, man. He was there, and so why are you even turning up?
Well, what the scriptures say, when the wicked do wrong, and the poor has to entreat also.
Yeah.
You know, they're fucked up, but then he ain't gonna say shit to you. But then also you gotta be like, suck up to America.
If it was you, if it was anyone else, they'd have to apologize. Look, we're sorry. If it was Germans, they'd be sorry about it. It was horrible. You ever notice that? They don't. They drop nukes, melted children's faces off. God. Skin just peeling off. Everyone's skin was just peeling off, man. Some brutal shit, man.
Back in Isaiah 13 and 19, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
That fire, that great fire. Go on.
It shall never be inhabited.
So it's gonna be like a memorial. It's gonna be a desert. It's not gonna be an inheritance onto no man. No man, because if you take something as an inheritance, you're naturally gonna build it up. But the Lord don't ever want it to be built up again. It's like gonna be a memorial onto like the wicked, like throughout the rest of the eternity, throughout the omniverse. Yeah, it's gonna go back to that. As a man's be flying over with a chariot over the earth, be like, as it on Star Trek in it. Be like, yeah, but check that out. Like, look at that. Look at this paradise. This paradise, green earth with all the beauty. And then what the hell is that? Like just a giant fucking desert with smoke and pillowing out of it. Yeah, that's the wicked. That's what happens when you f with the Most High.
They show you that in that movie with Tom Cruise, Oblivion, when he was flying over the land.
Yeah.
And it was uninhabitable, it was bare radiation and all that shit.
Yep.
That's how America's gonna look.
Well, it's like Planet of the Apes. You had
Planet of the Apes.
was in New York statue. Yeah.
Yep.
Precept?
Bit moving.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
It says, it shall never be inhabited, and neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation.
So it's not gonna be an inheritance unto no man. It's just gonna have the wild animals and the devils up in that land, and it's for a memorial as a warning to remember the power of the Lord, and to remember that there is a reward unto the wicked. So the other nations will be like, yo, we don't want to end up like that. You don't want to end up like how that dude Esau, man, he got fucked up. Imagine that, man. throughout the rest of eternity, people are gonna be, you Edomites, they're gonna be talking about you, man. Women, the women are gonna be telling their children, don't be like Esau. Yeah, he got destroyed. Like, there was a beautiful land, flowing,
A land like no other.
a land, man.
no
It was known as the second Canaan. And what happened? The Lord manhandled that place. Look at it now, broke up.
It says, it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there.
Right, because them Arabs go over there and they, they make set up businesses and make money.
Camels.
It's funny because in that movie Planet of the Apes, Dr. Zayas and all that, I think there was a scene where he talks to Charlton Heston and he was asking him, what was here before and all that, and he was like, don't talk about it. Don't talk
But
about
see, in the
it
kingdom, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be talked about. It's going to be,
so
that
much.
destruction is going to be, because it's going to coincide with the salvation of the Lord. And guess what? There's going to be actual witnesses that were alive. Guess who those witnesses that were alive and see it happening, who they going to be? See, there's going to be a difference. Like right now, if you hear about a historical event, you ain't hearing no witness. You're hearing, you reading it like, there's someone was there and they writ it down. That's why people scoff. They be like, how you know who writ that? Like, people talking all that shit. Yeah, but exactly. That's why the elect are gonna be like eternal witnesses, everlasting witnesses to the glory of the Lord. Because they were like, I was there. Yo, we saw that. Like shit was real. Like it was terrifying. This is what happened. It was So that's the difference, man. In the kingdom of heaven, there's gonna be actual witnesses, man. A multitude of witnesses to the destruction, man. That's man, crazy.
Quick one.
So you ain't gonna be able to score. How you gonna score?
No. Oh, yeah,
It was like, was you there? Like, actually, I was.
End of the story.
It says, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there, but wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there, and the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant places. And her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged.
Time is near to come. And you can see that, man. America's getting ready to be liquidated, man. It's getting ready. It's going to go out in blood and glory, chaos and glory, man. It's going to go out bad, man. It's going to be, by the time America's getting ready to be destroyed, it's going to probably be like a boxer. They're probably going to want to be destroyed, man. I'm like, yo, man, fuck this, man. This shit's fucked. Boxers is getting fucked. They've been fucked up for 11 rounds. Eyes all bust up. It's like, you know what, man? They just want a right hand to put them out of their misery, man. Just fucking finish this, man. Because America's going to be bathed in blood anyway. There's going to be all kind of chaos and madness going on out there. It's going to be stinking of death everywhere. It might as well just get burnt up. It's going to be bad, man. Ain't going to be no, come Sunday, Monday, happy day.
Scripture even says,
It's gonna be mad. It's getting ready to go down. You see all the look at Portland, man, and that's crackers out there in Portland rioting, fucking laser in the damn police. I was reading today they were lasering the police, throwing concrete and rocks at the police, man. And that's crackers doing that, man. They hurt.
It's getting like Hunger Games.
Hunger Games.
District rebellion.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. By the time America gets destroyed, it's gonna be unrecognizable anyway.
You're more in that, bro.
Just on the point, this is Jeremiah 16:14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, but the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whither he had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers.
Right.
That's the cloud of witnesses. Right?
So the destruction of America is going to coincide with the return of Yahweh Shai and the deliverance of the elect. Now, vocab, I'm sorry to say, you're fucked, mate. You're gonna, the Lord might have it where you actually survive through some miracle, because it's a miracle right to the end,
Especially death.
and you see, and that's gonna be a beautiful thing. See, there's actually people that they're gonna survive a lot of shit, man. They're gonna see a lot of shit. They're gonna lose a lot of family. They might lose a limb and still survive, man. They're gonna survive a lot of shit, man. They're gonna have to lose everything, man. There's some people that's slated, like you probably better off just getting headshotted like right at the beginning, like boom, Like, you know what I mean? You just get a headshot clean. Like you didn't have to know nothing. Like you didn't know. There's gonna be people that go. Everybody, you never watch them movies. Like everybody I ever knew is dead.
Yeah, I am legend.
And he's just fucked up in the spirit, like you know, just like just surviving somehow. You know, that might be you, vocab. Like everyone you know just gets killed, and you'll be the last one in your friendship group.
Bro, if you're a scorner and stuff, but the Lord ain't gonna give you an easy death.
You might just, he might make it right to the end, just to see the men of the Lord going up in the chariots, man.
You ain't getting an easy death.
And then you're gonna see them icy missiles just coming down, man. And once they explode in the atmosphere, man, woo wee!
The Lord said it. It's better that he that offendeth my little one.
Put a millstone,
put a millstone around the neck, drown you out to the bottom of the sea and meet Leviathan or something, man. Then what the Lord's gonna put you through.
Hey, the Lord is terrible, man.
Terrible, man.
Terror.
Yo, man. It's a terrible thing to fall into the hands of the living
You might be in a cellar somewhere, man, getting your leg chopped out for steaks.
Bring you out. Some rats coming and start chewing on your shit. Yeah. Boy, you're sleeping, man.
Vocab fillet.
Quick precept. This is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 9. Actually, I'll start from 7. Just 3 precepts. Isaiah 13 and 7. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. And they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrow shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth.
Yeah, that fear, that because when them ICBMs, you hear the rumbling of the delivery systems, because you already know what it means, because there's already been war, or you know that something ain't right, because you're gonna look up and what the fuck, like there's a missile there, and they're all coming down, and that's when you're gonna realize like there ain't no escaping this one.
It's over.
This is that Sarah Connor moment about to happen. All the hopes and dreams are gonna ooze right out your ass, man. All the hopes and dreams, they're gonna come right out your ass, nice and wet.
Says they shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. You know what I'm reminding me of? You posted a video on the WhatsApp of before in Lebanon. Some people were going,
yeah.
You know,
that's what they did, didn't it? It was pointing.
Yeah. And it says, behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel, both with wrath. Cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it.
Yeah, so that's the majority of our people, the ones of them that survive all the hell, and then these heathens and Edomites, man. And hopefully, vocab, you're one of them, man, because you're a real piece of shit, man. You're a real piece of shit, man, and we ain't afraid to say that. Like, you know, we hope you make it to them missiles, man.
Straight.
So that you can see the folly, you can see the Lord coming.
Yeah.
So-called black man, man. That's right. You know, and at that moment, you're gonna know you're fucked. And guess what? You know what's gonna be going through his mind? Fuck, man, I'm going into slavery as well after this shit. Because he know the doctrine inside and out. So it's all gonna be racing through his mind. Shit, they said that reincarnation. Fuck you, all that, you know. All that, vocab, reincarnation is in the scripture. So after you get hit with the missiles, guess what? You're coming right back. Yeah? To face more judgment.
Amos 5 and 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it?
Yo, it's gonna be a madness. It ain't gonna be like the Lord ain't coming down like a fucking some fucking gay parade or some shit, man. With fucking what's it called, man? What's that shit?
Float.
Yeah, the floats and shit, and there's music. No, it's a soca. No, you know what it is? Like it's carnival. You know? Niggas there looking like fucking Hansley. What's his name? Hansley Harriet. Reggae, right? You know, all that shit, beer, big smiles and all that partying and love. Nah, it's gonna be a serious vibration. When the Lord comes, it's gonna be death getting handed out, man. There's gonna be destruction, bombs dropping. There ain't no light in that. It's darkness, man, for this world, because it's really the light of the lights of this world is gonna be brought down, be finished, be over. Then a new world is gonna come on the other side. It's shutting down, man. It's death to this world.
It's over.
You got that article? Yeah, let's read this article, man. So Esau, man, Esau's a real piece of shit, man. We gonna read it. And we knew about this, but Esau ain't gonna wanna deal with this. These good Christian Edomites, these God-fearing Christian Edomites like vocab, man. What about this? You talking about the Hebrew Israelites? Did we drop nuclear bombs on anybody? We ain't dropped none of that. You focusing, you need to talk about the American military. That's what they did. They ain't apologize either. They didn't repent.
It's from Zero Hedge. It says the Hiroshima myth, right? And it says every year during the first 2 weeks of August, the mass news media and many politicians at the national level trot out the patriotic political myth that the dropping of the 2 atomic bombs on Japan in August of 1945 caused them to surrender and thereby saved the lives of anywhere from 500,000 to 1 million American soldiers who did not have to invade the islands.
Well, why was you invading the islands anyway? I'm sure that the islands they were invading were in Asia somewhere.
Yeah, I think it was.
Like, why were you invading it? Why was you invading islands anyway? Why was you not just in America and setting up defenses that if the Japanese come to invade America, you defend your border? Why were you over there anyway? No one ever asked that question. Why? So you didn't have to invade the Japanese islands? Brother, why were you invading the Japanese islands? And don't give me that Pearl Harbor crap. Why was you even over there in Pearl Harbor? Oh, and let's not forget the embargo that you placed prior to that on the Japanese oil.
Yeah. That's, you know, all the details always get.
Yeah, you know, what would you do? It was American imperialism. That's why he was over there.
Quick precept to back up your point. Habakkuk 2 and 5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man.
He's so proud he can't say sorry.
Yep.
He's so proud to this day they haven't apologized for that heinous act they committed on Ammon. The anti-Semitic act that they committed on Ammon, man. That's a disgusting anti-Semitic act. That's a Holocaust right there, some would say. According to the definition. Anti-Semitic Holocaust, which was committed by the American military against them poor Japs.
So it says,
but you don't see them crying like them JOOS's, man. Them JOOS's be crying, man, constantly. Yo, don't say that, brother. Yo, the AI translating the Sentinels. Yeah, you know that Matrix. You know Matrix. You know when the Sentinel just like now man's coming down. You know.
Identified.
Them Sentinels from our Matrix is moving for us now. Listen, brothers gotta be wise, brothers. You can't JOO, man. That's how you gotta bring it, man. Till the algorithm figures it out, man. You can't be saying certain things, man.
Keywords. That's it, man. Don't want to trigger them. Habakkuk 2 and 5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell.
It was American imperialism because they like to say, oh, America didn't join the war because they had a non-interference. What the fuck was the terminology?
Oh, what's the word? The word for it? Confrontation or some shit.
There was something basically like they didn't involve themselves in World War One because they didn't want to involve themselves in world affairs, but they were still bankrolling and supplying weapons and giving Britain food and all that and getting paid. They were getting paid off it, but they didn't want to get involved. What people don't know is that America was being imperialistic at that time period over there in the East. Hence why Japan was like, what the fuck is going on over here? Like, why are you guys here? The British and the Americans were being imperialistic. Do your research. But they lied and said, oh no, America, we didn't really want to go into the war. They had to beg us to join the war. That's bullshit.
They have a term called the Imperial War as well.
They were being imperialistic, man. America, well, that was the beginning of America being imperialistic, and World War II was an opportunity for them to solidify that by getting a foothold over there in the East.
I think it's non-aggression pact.
Non-aggression, something like that. There was
Something like
something they said that America doesn't get involved in foreign affairs,
Yeah.
which is bullshit. They've been getting involved since World War One. They just never used their army yet, but they did. Go on.
To enlarge his desire as hell and is as death.
It's one of them.
Right, and cannot be satisfied. And then so once, and you see America, they haven't stopped since.
Yeah.
They haven't stopped, man.
No,
You
that's
know?
what it says. But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
Because it's prophecy, because they're Babylon the Great, and the scripture says that whore that would sit upon many waters. So they had to become that great empire that replaced the British Empire, that Roman Empire all over again, right? That's not, you know, which is something they'll never use the word empire on American TV, except when it's
Star
a couple
Wars.
niggas that's doing a hip hop
Oh yeah.
show. The word empire has been banned because that's what America is, but they don't like that connotation. They don't like that because it will make them look bad. So it's not an empire. We're not running an empire here. It's American interests. It's national security. It's not the empire, you know?
Anything but an
It's not an empire we're protecting.
Well, that's Esau's thing is you know, he's trying to transform into the angel of light, and it's all about what do you call it, the image, man, how he represents himself. Because that's it. He's selling the idea. That's why everyone, people are eating it easier than they did in Rome.
Or you, so, yeah, and you said it. The image that he's presented. That really goes into the image of the beast. Because even with the mask and all these things right now, those are things that are basically allowing Esau to gauge how much control he has over the people, man. Yeah. So it shows that's like the image that he's pumped out there. It's like
how easily are people going to bend the knee?
Yeah, like he said, like, look, it's try this because you said there's an image he presents to the people, but like them putting on the mask and adhering to social distancing is basically a show that the image that he puts out there, people buy into it so much so that they'll do whatever he says, basically. And that's what's going to lead to the image is what's lead up to the mark of the beast.
Well, people already jumping on it because with I saw something like with what's his name, Elon Musk, that Neuralink, the brain chip linker. That shit is like everyone's like, oh yeah, it's gonna be great. You know, you're gonna be able to just like think about Google and blah blah blah. You can get music wired directly into your brain. And then it's like someone was saying, yo, that's in the scriptures, dog. Yo, me fuck. A man was clowning it, and I was like, you know what? This is everyone's just eating it up. So where they'll just like everything is just they're just looking at they're ready to accept it, man. They're completely
lazy, man.
died in
lazy so-and-so,
man. Yeah, for real.
Precept,
Fervently desire them to eat that.
precept, what the Bible
Well,
says.
if you believe in Esau, then you should take it today.
Precept, what the Bible
Save
says.
yourself the time, man. Order the home kit.
This is Sirach chapter 13, verse 23. When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look what he saith. They extol it.
Musk, that freak. You can tell that man loves baby dick, man. Dude's a freak. You
Well,
can look at him and know he's a freak.
He's what, South African? You know how them guys them guys were bro, apartheid was rocking till like the 90s, bro. Man were killing them guys kept it up longer than the motherfuckers in America were doing it. Like
He's moving like he's some kind of trendy savior of the planet.
Yeah.
Because he's got electric cars. Stop it, man. Stop it, man.
Sounds like David.
Yeah, one guy even told me, this dude was a Somalian, told me, yeah, like I would get on a shuttle with Elon Musk to Mars. Me and another Jake, we were looking at each
the
other
chains
like,
would come out of the side.
yo, my nigga, what'd you say? You go on a fucking air shuttle with Elon Musk.
I don't want
As
no
soon
one
as
to
them
be
shuttle
near.
doors fucking close,
man.
bloody, man's gonna pull out the gimp suit.
Yeah, no.
No, you're gonna turn around and see him holding the fucking dildo, man.
Wait, hold on.
Bare latex.
Man's
I
gonna-
was like,
They're
nah.
gonna get him like Ving, what was it, Ving Rhames in
Oh
fucking
yeah.
they're gonna have man
Pulp Fiction.
they have man like Pulp
Oh, yeah,
Fiction
that should look
pumped.
real as well.
and he's gonna be like, what about my rights? We're like, bro, this is Mars.
Yeah.
What the fuck you
So
talking
this is
about?
my land.
Ain't no human rights. We're Martians.
My
now.
shit, man. I'm the king of this
Yeah,
shit.
but some people are gullible, man. They don't realize these people are demons.
It says, and look what he saith, they extol it to the clouds.
That Bill Gates, man, that's another example of that. This demon, this CIA plant named Bill Gates, man. This demon, this so-called white supremacist. right? Dude's set up by the CIA. His family's got links with the CIA from day one, man. Dude was on Epstein's airplane, so you know what he's about. He's about that little boyish foreskin. He's about them. He's about all of that life. And then when they tried to get him to explain why he was on Epstein's plane, he was fucking juggling and he didn't want to say it straight. That's because he's fucking guilty and he was on there more than once and he lied about when he first met Epstein and his name's on the fucking logs before when he lied about it. So the dude's guilty as fuck, man. All right, he's one of them pedo gate dudes, man. Naturally so, because they wouldn't give a guy like that kind of position without having nothing on him anyway. But he's heavy into the eugenesis and then the depopulation and all that agenda. But people want to, as soon as he starts talking, people think he's a good person, you know, like because he wears sweaters and shit, you know. That's how these devils do. They run around wearing sweaters and eating ice cream in public like they're billionaires, but they try to act like they're just humble, normal people, man. Fucking devils, man.
You know what's a good, like, The Boys, like season 1, they showed with that, like with the superheroes, they would always have the PR things. Okay, you're gonna go here and do this. You're gonna just casually, you know, interact with these people, basically trying to humanize them. Even though they were just like, they didn't really give a fuck. They were looking at the regular people like they were just fucking apes.
They say one of the things they get them to do is eat ice cream. Like, so they will find them in shops a lot eating ice cream because it makes him look like, you know, hey, he's a normal guy. He's eating ice cream.
You know,
I eat ice cream.
Yeah. Oh, Bill, he likes ice cream, you know. I like ice cream too. Simple-minded people.
But if the poor man speak, they say, "What fellow is this?" And if you stumble, they will hope to overthrow him.
That's right. That's like us, man. Bill Gates starts talking about vaccines now, and everyone's listening to him. And the dude specializes in fucking IT. It's fucking crazy. The dude's fucking IT technician, man. He's not a doctor. This owns Microsoft, man. He's listening to him about vaccine and depopulation and shit.
That's why it
shows you how dumb people are.
Yeah, that's why is this?
Why the fuck is this dude?
Yeah, because with any of these celebrities, any of these guys, they're like, okay, if Bill Gates is going to talk to you about Windows fucking 7 and stopping it from crashing,
all the way,
fair enough.
He couldn't stop all them viruses that was spreading.
Yeah, for real. But it's like but everyone just, as soon as someone gets any form of acclaim, they will come a god on this earth.
Computer virus.
Nigga, go sit in front of the computer and work that shit out.
Phishing scams.
Every time, bro, man's there like clicking it by
that
malware's giving you a hell of a
Windows
Yeah. You know what's crazy? There's a veil of the people because Bill Gates came out in that speech and he basically said to them, we want to depopulate, and people just ate that. Yeah. And it's the same thing with us. They come up and we give them the truth. But then, they do the same thing.
They cast it aside, which is beautiful. I love it. Don't hear it, bro. Keep them ears deaf as fuck, bro.
Take that vaccine, man. Take 5. Yeah, because he's already said that you're going to have to take like multiple. So basically, they're going to be medicating you every 2-3 months now. Right. Like it's equilibrium, man. You better take that. Or take that Soma. What was that one with the Soma? Brave New World. Yeah, Brave New World, man. Take that Soma, man. Anyway, hey, brother, carry on with that article, man.
Carrying on, it says opinion polls over the last 50 years show that American citizens overwhelmingly between 80 and 90% believe this false history, which of course makes them feel better about killing hundreds of thousands of Japanese civilians, mostly women and children, and saving American lives to accomplish the ending of the war.
So that's because Esau's got an impeccable propaganda machine, man. That's why 80 to 90%, that's what they believe. Because the propaganda machine, but it's falling apart now. It's all fucked up. Pizzagate, all that's getting out. But it's been working pretty good. You know, a lot of people, all the years that's been doing, like, they've been having these people all messed up in history. Nothing but myths. Nothing but myths. 9/11, myth.
Yeah, what's the word? Manifest Destiny. Man has the impact from day man's PR campaigns have just been delightful, flawless.
Every fucking program that comes out about FBI and CIA, they just chasing down Arabs. That's why I don't watch that shit, man. That shit, it personally just annoys the shit out of me. Because I'm like, but this ain't real. But they kind of get the people into that mind frame of there is this war and terror, and the FBI and the CIA are just hunting down. And that's what they're doing day in, day out, hunting down Arabs, like. And you're just like Jack Ryan, like. You know, the CIA, I don't watch Jack Ryan and shit like that. I can't watch all that CIA glorification shit, man. Because I know what they're really doing. Like, and it ain't nothing to do with fucking stopping no Arabs, blowing nothing up.
Got precepts.
Yeah, trafficking children, man.
Nahum 3
Drug
and
dealing.
4. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that setteth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcrafts. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face. The skirt is like when Marilyn Monroe walked over that air vent and the skirt went over her head. That's what's happening to America, man.
She's a perfect.
Actually, more like what happened to Cersei.
Oh yeah. Well, she's
The walk of
everything
shame.
skin out.
Cersei went.
Game of Thrones,
Game of
did it?
Thrones.
Oh, okay.
She had that walk of shame through the whole fucking city, butt naked.
Pom
Man.
Pom was out. All that.
Everything was out, man. Cersei, man. Yeah, man. Everyone can see the white woman ain't got no goods though. That's fucked. Flat back. She had no back.
Ironing board.
No, man. Ass like an 8-year-old boy.
Make me beg for buttermilk.
That's Cersei, man. Hey, well, Bill Paxton is a Jake.
Yeah.
Bill Paxton is a fucking Jake, man. That dude, every film he's been in, he's got fucking like he made Alien too.
That's like
Yeah, man, that dude's got charisma, blood. He could deliver a fucking line, bro.
That's a hell of a line, but I
That shit was weird. That's weird old Hollywood shit. Ass like an 8-year-old boy. Ass like an 8-year-old boy. Son. That's Cersei. She got some fat ass.
The JSS made him say that.
Yeah, they made him say that,
Put
man.
that line in there specifically to say that. Like,
Hey, but Bill Paxton made a movie called Frailty. That's a fucking brilliant film, man. That was a fucking brilliant film, man. Bill Paxton, that dude, he was a bad dude, man.
Judge.
I believe he's a Jake, but you know, he got people because he dude got too much charisma, man. He got flavors all day. Even in Twister, it was a shit film, but he made that film.
Yeah, he's hard.
With that bitch, that dry ass, what's her name?
Sandra Bullock.
No, it was that Jodie. Was it Jodie Foster? He had to drag her through that fucking film, man. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. And I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame.
And everyone's seeing that, like, because of, like we said earlier, America's supposed to be this beacon of what you're supposed to be, like, what you're supposed to attain to. And they're looking at man's in Portland throwing concrete at the police and women getting shot in the forehead with rubber bullets and, you know, all kinds. And then they see the meth epidemic, and they see, like, they just see the society just falling apart. Falling in on it, so and it's just like, you know, their president's getting caught up with porn stars and
even they were saying over the last 19 weeks, they had an average of over 1 million people going into unemployment. But that's fucked.
Yeah, it's fucked. And people are calling home, telling them like, "Yo, it's fucked over." So that the nations are starting to see that maybe we shouldn't be following these guys because they obviously ain't got the formula. This ain't a utopia. If you're gonna be the benchmark, it's like having a football team. You're like, yeah, we're the leading club in the world, and you're just dead. Like, you know what I mean? You're losing every game. The stadium's falling apart. It's like, what, we're supposed to follow if you're gonna be the best that people want to attain to, you gotta be providing the goods. People are supposed to look and say, yeah, look at their team, look at the way the finances, look at what they're doing. Like, I want to be like them. I want to do what they're doing. You look at America. Why would you want your country to be like America, man? Come on, would you really? You be like, nah, you know.
No, that's why everyone's been dumping clowning them for a minute now.
Divorce rate off the chart, like just children mad, like mad child rape, everything that's bad with children is just rife in America. Children turning up to school with AKs, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no, what other country, like, you got maybe one or two other, like a few other incidents a decade, but in America, like multiple times a year, man will show, if they weren't a lockdown, you probably got 4 more shootings since March.
Child suicide.
Yeah, bro. There was like man saying there was like 6, 7-year-olds, 5-year-olds. They were suicidal. I was listening to a podcast. I was like, bro, how you got? What the fuck is a 5-year-old going through? Where he's like, I want to die. I'm like, what are you doing, bro?
We have to give me a toy car or a bicycle. Man was happy as fuck, man.
You know when you think about that, man.
Hair in there.
Bro, it's
a
like
fucking child wanted to
you know?
commit suicide, like.
Bro,
Moving like a dude in a midlife crisis who lost all his stocks.
Man just got 2 million evaporated. I'm like, man's oh my god.
Yeah, that's mad, man. That's mad. Children are depressed, hooked on drugs. Everyone's popping pills. Anyway, is that it?
One more verse. And I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing
So
stock.
that Pizzagate thing, listen, that thing's going viral throughout the whole earth. Like, I get people that wouldn't normally be into that shit sending me shit about that Pizzagate, man.
Yeah.
And then when Tom Hanks ran and left America, people were all over his Twitter and shit, thumbing down because everyone's like, "Yep, you're running because shit's gonna hit the fan, man. You don't want to get extradited, man, because you're fucking nuts."
Well, that's what when
Tom Hanks.
Yeah, Tom Hanks.
He looks like a pedo, man. He got that look, man. Like he fondles undropped balls, man.
They're saying in Greece they're gonna label paedophilia as a disability.
Yeah,
So he can
okay.
apply
Oh yeah,
for it.
well that's
That's
where
why they're
it's
going
been
to
going.
Greece.
Because it's like, bro, with that.
Yeah, why the fuck would you move to Greece, man?
Nah.
Tom Hanks, like of all people, man. Why man's moving to Greece?
Probably say, have you seen the views in Santorini or Mykonos or whatever? But that's not
That's
good.
where all that
Still not dead,
Talking
homosexual.
about the views of them little boys, man.
That's
walking
where
down
you-
the
that's
street.
where-
That's where it will
Well, there's
start
gonna be a
anyway,
lot of
Greece
there's
and
gonna be a
Rome.
lot of there's gonna be a lot of them illegal aliens that he could prey upon down there. And illegal children, you know, that he can
What?
but he's probably over there gonna be running the operation, you know, over there like to get them over to America so Trump and his boys can have a good time.
Act like he's adopting kids.
Research.
You know.
Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn.
That's right.
Yeah, what?
And in America, the people are even the crackers is fucking protesting, man, in Portland. Yeah, we're Israelites. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, see there, man, that's the spirit. Hey, man, hey, do your thing, brother, do your thing.
Say,
Hey, you see, man's know about the Israelites, man.
trying to get drunk.
Yeah.
still.
But then,
Go on,
hey,
go on.
that's the truth coming out.
Yeah, the truth's coming out, man.
Esau's been done, been exposed, man. Like the brother brought out, the skirt's been lift up.
Yeah, see, that's the
So
spirit
now
right there.
everyone's, because, bro, I'm like, certain man is telling them, like,
What's going on, brother?
You're all right.
Yeah,
To
man.
me, bro.
Bless.
What's going on?
The chances, man. The spirit, man.
Yeah?
That's it.
And to shake all your hands, bro.
Yeah, but we're on camera as well, brother.
Yeah.
Just to let you know,
I'm
you know?
doing my research.
All right, brother.
Soon I'll come.
All right, man.
Yeah.
all good, man.
Respect, brother.
So you know what time we're in, right?
Brother.
Bless.
Respect, man.
You see?
I told you, don't worry, we're coming. All right, brother.
All right,
Hey,
shalom.
shalom.
That's it, man.
All right, man. See you, hey,
Hey,
look, man.
It's the awakening right now.
See there, man. See there.
Yeah,
Man's
yeah, but
in
outside.
the
Call out
national
outside.
We're in the depths of the woods, man.
You see
and the
there.
man, yeah, the man is just like,
Apocalypse, man.
That's
Yeah,
what's
it's
sparing
much.
Esau, man. That's
It's
what's
too-
sparing
it's-
Esau.
This is why Esau is cowering in fear, man.
Yeah.
Man has to have the laser beams blazing on YouTube because it's over. Like
Yeah,
he's done. Everyone, he's got his little
That's
son
got them
coming. Like,
sentinels
Daddy,
is out there like on some
Daddy,
heavy
what's
censorship.
a Hebrew? Man's there, it's like, yo, it's not done it. Man's there, just close it down.
Well, more like Daddy, what's the eater, man? You know that?
Oh yeah. No, bro, everyone's bro. That shit is turning into
You
a
haven't
curse
mentioned
word
that,
right now. Like,
man.
man, are just
Yeah.
like these fucking Edomites, bro.
Hey,
I'm like, yo, man, I told them about it. They're just using it like it's a cuss, man. Like, it's fuck.
Hey,
Anytime Esau
Mom,
does something,
you're a
like
carrot.
these fucking Edomites.
hey,
It's coming on.
you see
Esau's-
what's going on out here, man? That's the spirit. That's the spirit. He said that the skirt's getting Esau's getting exposed, but at the same time, the Lord's revealing this truth, man. You know,
We're coming up. We're coming up. He's going down. Man.
There you go. And let's just finish off this
You
article.
got that, what is it, the Hebrew Israelite family that visited the elder.
Oh yeah.
Gave
South
him some
Carolina.
gifts and all.
Hey, because it's true. There's an awakening happening still. It ain't
That's
all
it, that's it.
it ain't all niggas. You know, there's gonna be brothers out there, and you know, the sisters that's gonna wake up and to this truth.
Acts.
That's it.
When
It tells
they
you
did,
that.
there was many times that thousands and thousands joined the camp on different occasions.
But that's
Yeah,
why
at the
we
same
out
time.
here. That's why we out here, man. You know,
It's funny. He said, "I'm learning. I'm coming."
you know. But you see, certain accounts when they're like, brother, where's your fringes?
Yeah. But nice, you know, it's everyone's got different portions.
Where was
Yeah,
Abraham's fringe?
It's a stream and say, all right, I think we're,
Yeah.
oh shit, we're still going.
Okay.
Okay. Can't just run it back from what you were saying just now. Fucking hell, them foods, man.
Right. So it goes.
Them cold foods, man. Cold.
So it says,
We live. We mobile.
It's
Mobile.
says these suggested even at this point that the U.S. demand for unconditional surrender might well be the only serious obstacle to peace. At the center of the explorations, also, as we also saw, was Alan Dawes, Chief Office of Strategic Service Operations in Switzerland, and subsequently Director of the CIA, in his 1966 book, The Secret Surrender. Says those recalled that on July 20th, 1945, under instructions from Washington, I went to the Potsdam conference and reported there to Secretary of War Stimson on what I had learned from
I
Tokyo.
think that's before they changed it to the Secretary of Defense. Devils. Say it.
Says they desired to surrender if they could retain the emperor and their constitution as a basis for maintaining discipline and order in Japan after the devastating news of surrender became known to the Japanese people. It is documented by Alperovitz that Stimson reported this directly to Truman. Alperovitz further points out in detail the documentary proof that every top presidential, civilian and military advisor, with the exception of James Bines, along with Prime Minister Churchill and his top British military leadership, urged Truman to revise the unconditional surrender policy so as to allow.
So you know what that's saying? It was specifically America that was like, nah, fuck that. See, that's beautiful. And that's why America's gonna get the big, because like we said at the beginning, they were the first nation to use these types of weapons, to introduce them into the arena, and they're gonna be the last nation that them weapons are gonna be used upon. And that's poetic justice. They were pushing to use these weapons, man, and they used them. So them weapons is gonna be used on them in its perfection.
Yeah, that's true.
Go on,
So as to allow the Japanese to surrender and keep their emperor. All this advice was given to Truman prior to the Potsdam Proclamation, which occurred on July 26, 1945. This proclamation made a final demand upon Japan to surrender unconditionally or suffer drastic consequences. Another startling fact about the military connection to the dropping of the bomb is the lack of knowledge on the part of General MacArthur about the existence of the bomb and whether it was to be dropped. It says MacArthur knew nothing about advanced planning for the atomic bomb's use until almost the last minute, nor was he personally in the chain of command in this connection.
because you already know that to use it, that was a top secret, man. And there was a documentary, man, but them JOOSs, they wiped it off YouTube, where they were actually going into the ritual. They were doing a lot of rituals in the Manhattan. It was a big satanic ritual, and they even was giving birth to fetuses and sacrificing to give birth to demons and all kind of fuckery. There was a whole occult fucking shit that was going on behind the Manhattan Project, man. See, you know, that's how these devils operate, man. But the JOOSs, man, they whacked that shit. You can't find that again. Me and Ramar, we trying to catch that again.
Some of them old ones.
Because I remember I sent it to Ramar, we watched it,
Absolutely.
and then you can't get that again, like they wiped that clean, like they were showing all that, they were doing all kind of demonic stuff in that project, man, because it was occult, it was secret. It was a secret project, man. And in the last minute, they rolled it out and just bombed the hell out of them Japs.
The order came straight from Washington. Indeed, the War Department waited until 5 days before the bombing of Hiroshima even to notify MacArthur. So that shit came straight from the top. That's on that page. Probably forgot that scripture, the wickedest stand.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful thing because America, they did that, man, and they never had to do that. They didn't have to drop them bombs, but they did it in their own pride. But guess what? They set a sequence of events rolling that's going to lead to their ultimate destruction. Because that whole now they released that bomb, they put the world in fear, but they weren't the only one that was developing the bomb. So they brought the bomb into the equation. And when people see that they used it, man's like, yo, then we gotta fucking get our shit together, because them motherfuckers is willing to use that shit. So then what? Now that's when Russia, you had the after World War II. That's why the scripture says what? The second woe cometh quickly. Because right directly after World War II, 2 years later, you had the war between the two superpowers, the Cold War. Literally, I think it started like 2 years after the end of World War II. The Third World, and that really was the beginning of the Third World War. Most of these wars that's been constantly happening is in the back of Russia versus America, but it's going to culminate in a great war that's going to end it, and it's going to end with the use of those same nuclear weapons that they were fighting over. They've been trying to compete over, going back to when America used it. America used it. They let it be known like we're bringing this into play. Yes, this will be used in warfare from now on. And now they're like, oh, non-proliferation. It's too late for all that, bro. You brought it in.
But then it's like everyone's already mass-produced, especially like
the
Russia and
the JOOSs, they got some.
Everyone, and that's
India, Pakistan, China,
and the man like China and India had skirmishes. India and Pakistan, them men are done been ready to wipe each other off the face of the earth for the longest. So it's only a matter of time.
Well, Lord gonna take that energy and point it back over there in America, man. Right? Read that, brother.
This is Psalm chapter 9, verse 10. Sorry, Psalm chapter 9, verse 16. The Lord is known by the judgment which he executed. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands.
It's snared. Now that's twofold. The wickedness that you've done is a snare unto you, because you're gonna have to pay for what you've done. But again, what's the rest of the snare? It is the wickedness that you've done that's gonna come back to you. Because them nuclear weapons that you proliferated, that you brought into the scene, are the same thing that's gonna come around the back end and obliterate you. And that's poetic justice, man. The first nation to use it, you brought it into play, and it was all for you. The Lord made you bring your own. The Lord could have had it where Russia used it first, or Britain used it first, or Germany. But look how the Lord had it. America and the rest of the mans were like, yo, let's just bring it to an end now. America's like, nah, fuck that. I'm gonna drop this. I'm gonna drop this, man. I'm gonna show the world how powerful I am.
Another one wasn't dropped after, which is the test.
No one's dropped that. Yeah, they showed the world. Look, man, this is what it is.
We call that D-Day.
Then they call it mutually assured destruction.
Yeah, MAD,
nah, man.
That's Esau's pride as well. It's just like, yo, if America gets wiped out, then it's just done.
No. You're done, mate. All right. Is there any other scriptures you brothers got before we close up?
One more. Go ahead. Job 18 and start from 6. The light start from 5. Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. The steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. For he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare. The jinn shall take him by the heels, and the robber shall prevail against him. The snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. That's it.
That's right. And their own pride is going to lead them into this war, and it's going to finish them up. That's going to be the end of America. So with that, we're going we say shalom, man. Double honors unto the apostles and elders, man. Shalom. Kahala Yabba Shalom.